Where we last left off, after taking some time, not long, but a little time, to mourn their fallen friend, the next day, business had to be dealt with. Returning to Lord Valoris' estate and informing him of what had befallen his daughter and the other two, was left in the care of Gold, Persephone, and Tomer.
Who was in their care?
Who was the third? Because three of you.
No. It was Zach, Jen, and Patch.
Oh, you. That's right. You ended up accompanying them.
I was doing religious things.
That was where you still were doing religious stuff. That's right. You three ended up
Found God.
going and talking to Lord Valoris.
On God?
God family. Okay. Far.
Him telling you that he would take things from here. Where Gold did catch as he turned a tear in the corner of the High Lord's eye.
Good.
Meanwhile, Leon continued his vigilant watch after having a meeting. Actually, the meeting was later on.
The meeting was the end of the session.
Yes, the meeting was later on, so you just continued a vigilant watch to see the comings and goings of those at the council chamber building, to see if anyone happened to be coming out that perhaps you would just run up to them and talk to them there. But you did not see anyone of note. A few pages, some, low-level workers.
But never an entire book.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Tomer...
Does that constitute a D100 roll?
Yes, it does. Meanwhile, Tomer spent his time at the Church of Shenlo that he had been introduced to by Ajax. He tailed him there one day to assist his buddy with some duties that Ajax had to attend to at that time. But now he was on a different mission. He was on a mission to learn more about the religion that his lost friend had devoted themselves to. He wanted to learn more about that, as well as more about the weapon that Ajax carried, and if there was any way that he could somehow connect more with his lost friend. Where he ended up meeting a few interesting characters. The High Priest of the Church of Shenlo here in Kyber, as well as Brother Thomason, a very interesting little halfling that basically set Tomer to work, as it was discussed that perhaps Tomer would learn more about the faith itself. So he ended up scrubbing floors for most of the day. But he did learn a valuable piece of information that in order for him to attune to his friend's weapon and learn more about it, he must spend 2 hours meditating beneath Shenlo's gift, or in other words, a storm. Returning back to meet with his friends later on, they ended up, if I recall correctly, at least some of them, minus Leon, heading back to the Honeypot Inn for some dinner. And the next day, returning to go check on Leon. However, one of the things of note, when they were making their way up through Northgate, Gold heard something. He had sensed the previous day a portal near the wall. He had it in his mind. We need to check that out. And they began to venture in that general direction, seeing if they could find the whereabouts of where this portal may have been. And as they got closer, his keen ears picked up a clash of steel on claw. directing themselves towards the noise, they came upon an alleyway. Looking down upon it, where they saw a dwarf almost drenched in shadows, seeming to blend very well with them, striking out against two demonic entities, and very quickly dropping them low, their bodies turning to ash, blowing away, a little bit of wind swirling through this alleyway. The party, minus the maiden approach, and conversation began, specifically between this individual and Gold, as he looked upon Gold with a curious eye. There was something about him. Eventually, this led the dwarven individual, who went by the name of Ludo, to lead them to a place to talk away from the potential of prying eyes and ears, outside of the city, through a hole in the wall that was barely concealed, but yet cleverly so, by some bushes on the outside. They made their way over towards the shore of the lake, a little ways away from Kyber itself, where they had a discussion inside a little fishing cabin. Gold found out some very interesting information about an organization talked only of in the briefest of whispers, not necessarily with a good mind towards the intentions of such an organization. The Shadows. Speaking with Ludo and learning a little bit more about it, Gold realized that this may be something I should be a part of. And when presented with a challenge, he managed to hold his own quite well, taking a few good licks in the process, but dishing out several as well on his own. At which point,
They were licking each other constantly.
yes. At which point Ludo said,
What a tongue you
"That's
have.
enough," and saw promise in Gold,
Maybe there's a reason they call
Offering.
him Ludo.
offering him the choice. Would he wish to set upon the path of the Shadows? And Gold clasped Ludo's hand, and a symbol emblazoned on Ludo's arm, not visible at first, but then becoming bright, almost like white hot, burned its way into Gold's forearm, leaving the same mark that then dissipated until you could not see it, but the pain lingered. Ludo then said his farewells and said, "Be keeping an eye on it, but this area is your responsibility now." Then, Leon, eventually having his meeting with Councilman Antoinette,
Yeah.
he presented his point of view, his evidence, and a strong case as to the dangers that were occurring within the city and that something must be done. To which the councilwoman set him straight as to the matters at hand, telling him that you are a stranger, unbeknownst to us, who comes bearing little evidence, making wild claims, for what purpose we do not know. So it could be good, it could be bad.
Long
But-
story short, like all councilmen, she had a stick up her ass.
Yes. But she did say that she would look into the
Mhm.
things at the docks.
Yeah.
While it might not have been up to the response that Leon desired,
Better
Yep.
than enough.
at least she was listening a little bit. The party then basically met back up at the honeypot, and that's pretty much where we ended the session.
don't think I ever headed back to the honeypot.
No, you didn't.
The party
In fact,
minus
I don't
Leah.
think
Minus-
any of the party did. I think we actually stopped off.
I went to the
Yeah,
honeypot.
somebody
That much
did.
I know.
She was passing notes, so
Somebody
she went back
did.
to the honey.
That one I know.
Mhm.
You know, I'm pretty sure everyone just kind of stopped off right outside the council building.
Yeah, that's quite a possibility. That is quite a possibility.
It
So,
may be possible. Your call.
no, I will leave it up to you guys where you were.
I mean, myself, I'll say that I was still outside the council building.
Fair enough.
What time of day was that at? It was the evening?
Your appointment was
Like midday?
midday.
Yeah.
Like right around lunchtime.
Um,
And he just got done with that.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say.
Hearing something and listening aren't the same. That is true. Homicide lollipop.
Oh,
I feel that we would have met up with Leon outside just based on proximity and what time of day everything happened
and
at.
our distance.
I'm
yeah,
pretty
you're
sure
not-
we did meet up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not super far away from where he was. I mean, you could get there in a decent amount of time.
Yeah, we'll meet up with Leo.
Okay.
How'd it go, Leon?
Rather swimmingly from a certain point of view.
Well, that's vague.
Well, at least you didn't sing.
All sarcasm aside, I can't stomach those kinds of people.
Guessing it wasn't very productive.
They talk circles around an issue and they always bring it back around to you don't have enough evidence, which I never understand how I'm supposed to provide more, because if I tell them to go and investigate where the evidence would be, all they'll say is, "Oh, I'll send a squad out." And then they never do. Or, more likely, they don't bother to send a squad out in the first place and say, "I don't have the time or the men for that." It's
Meanwhile, we could have already taken actions into our own hands.
I just
That's a
find
fair
it
point.
pointless for there to be a council if they cannot be looking in on these kinds of issues. And what's worse is how okay she is with the fact that the guild and the council of Kyver have very little interaction. They didn't know about... Was it Woodhurst?
Yes.
They didn't know about Woodhurst at all. I feel like an entire town disappearing off the map from an undead plague is not something that should be said in whispers.
I say we just take matter in our own hands at this point.
Is that not
That's
what
what
we've
I'm going to
already
be doing.
done?
It kind of sounds like y'all have already been doing that.
See, the new guy gets it.
Weren't you going to the honey pot?
Is that?
Oh, yeah, goodbye.
Where the fuck are we?
We're talking to Leon.
No, I thought we just came from
No.
the honey pot. We all
No.
met up with him.
We're in town square. We never went back to the honey pot.
Like, aren't
No,
you supposed
but-
to be somewhere
but-
else?
I
But
did.
You
But
guys,
that's why
you
I'm
guys did
confused.
say, hey, we
Poof.
probably met up with Leon
Okay,
back
so
on
then,
the way.
yeah.
That would have been on the way. So you can still be there or not.
Okay,
Your call.
I don't know where the fuck we are. What's
Walks
happening?
past with a snarky
Okay.
comment and then keeps going.
Bye.
It's fine, good enough. I don't know where the fuck we are.
Right now, you are outside of the council chambers.
is this-
Council
Is this
chamber.
pre-honey pot?
Pre-honey pot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because we've already had lunch. This is like
Alright,
afternoon.
pre-honey pot, because my honey pot still happens.
Have we turned off or given the guild their...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I even put him on our
Yep.
roster, so now he's part of the team.
Yep.
Hooray!
And
But-
you have
There was so much
received
back
your
and forth
payment.
yesterday. Now I'm confused.
You have received your payment. The guild has their cut as well.
So everybody got their 600.
Yeah.
And you were waiting for some kind of storm, right?
That's tomorrow. So
Oh, okay.
that's tomorrow because
No, that's today at like 4. Based on this guy's
Midday.
prediction.
it's midday. I gotta get some shit together.
To sum things up then, she said she would look into the issue at the docks. Although, there's a part of me that doubts it, and then a part of me that says whatever she's going to do is not going to be enough if she does anything.
Well,
So let's just start at the docks.
We have already done what we can at the docks.
But now we have more information, more to go off of. What do
Not what?
Well-
what
Not really.
more do
know
we
that
have
the
about the
Etruscan-
docks, though?
Patch is just happy to be here.
listen, as much as I'd like to continue this conversation, maybe this is something we should be discussing in private at the center of town.
I will say this.
Zooms out and there's people walking.
I will say this.
Yes.
Are we taking a
This is
group?
noon in the middle
Are we
of
taking a group vote? We're gonna focus on this first, then maybe go back to guild missions, or pick up a guild mission, see if it leads us somewhere, What the fuck's the plan?
I
Let's
don't
go
know.
back to the guild and figure that out.
I don't know that we are physically prepared to take on the bullshit we've been dealing with this right now. We might need to...
Get stronger.
Yeah.
Well,
Look, my plan here
Training
is...
couldn't hurt anything.
We do need to get new team coordination down now that Patch is part of the
Yeah,
roster.
because somebody got his ass whooped by a bunch of girls.
well,
Look,
let's
they
do-
were
let's
they
just
were pretty tough.
Yeah, they were basic white bitches.
Look,
And we're naked.
So I have an
I
appointment
had some sand in my
that I have to personally take care of. I'll be near the training grounds, but it is gonna rain and thunder, like he said.
Well, I didn't mean one training session would get us done. I meant, like, we're not prepared to deal with this demon asshole.
Well, I get that. I'm just talking about if we were to do it, it'd be better tomorrow because it's gonna.
Well,
rain
yeah, no,
and
it's
thunder.
not a
Well,
right now situation.
Why don't you go ahead and handle your appointment?
Well, I gotta wait until a little bit. I gotta go to the wood shop and see if the statue's done first.
Well, it's the afternoon, is it not?
Yeah, I'll go there.
By
now.
the time you get all that done, you need to be out to the south gate anyway. So if you get going now, you'll probably make it in time.
Probably.
And we'll
Run,
just,
Forrest, run!
we'll just go ahead.
Who's
and,
Forrest?
I don't know, it sounded cool.
It's a random guy she hooked up with again.
I think we'll just
Run to the forest.
It's like the jungle, but smaller.
Before I leave, I'm gonna do something.
How incredibly vague.
Well, no, I'm just gonna go into the bag of holding, and I'm going to.
And to
Who-
be fair,
who has
Miss
healing
Demon
po-
Lady,
Yeah, that's actually.
Who needs healing potions?
I would love like 2 of the 6 that I put in there.
I'm
Alright,
usually
take
quite
2.
self-sufficient.
Honestly,
I
at this
just,
point, I think I'll take one too.
So 3.
I have a potion of healing, so
I'll give you another one, so I'll be left with 3 in
2.
the bag.
Okay.
I,
I'm not
2
complaining.
of what I
I'm
put
usually
in there,
pretty
at least.
self-sufficient,
I don't know
but
what else
Well, we
you
had-
I was weary
I
from
had
all
put
my
6 in there.
travels.
Yeah, we had 7. So
Okay.
2.
To the basement.
So 7 minus 2. Yeah, we'll have 3 left.
Okay.
Well, packing
Going down those stairs.
Yeah.
Oh man, rough.
All right, so you have another
All that
healing
walking
potion.
paired
You
with
have one.
the
She's
5
got 2.
steps that I took. I really took
I
it.
feel
We
I
got
feel
3
more
in there.
confident and safe that you guys have a way to heal yourselves. I'll be
I,
back.
I am the team medic right now, so
Question.
I don't know.
it's
I
nice to be
can
able
hold
to
the
heal
potion.
myself.
We'll see what happens.
Indeed.
Where are we meeting? I'll be gone for like 2 to
I
3
would
hours
assume
max.
honey pot. That's
No,
our normal.
honestly, just catch us in the honeypot.
or the
Alright,
guild.
this discussion
either
may take a while.
one, I guess.
Alright. I will go to the wood shop that I went to the previous day to pick up my commission.
Okay. That I believe you had that done up. Let's see, that would have been.
Yeah, I did it the
Yeah.
day
It
before.
was in
No,
the
no.
morning,
I
so-
think that was down towards the bowl, though.
Yes,
Yep,
I'll head
so-
that way and go pick it up on the
So
way.
yeah, so I mean, that's that's the direction of the honey pot in general. I mean, you do have to kind of skirt towards the docks.
I'm
more.
assuming by the time I grab it and head to where Ajax is buried,
Yes.
it's going to start raining and thundering at that
Oh,
point.
I don't know
That
what
yeah,
I'm
that amount of time, yes.
Then I'll
Because
do-
right now you're in the far north part of the city, cutting through, making your stop. That all will go there.
I'll do that then.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's
what are the rest of you doing?
As openly discussed, I believe we're all heading to the guild.
I didn't agree to that. I was trying to say, but I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
Oh, say your piece.
I am staying here and staking out because I have someone to spy on.
As persistent as always.
Says the one who's known him for 10 minutes.
That's all he's known of me, so it is fair.
10% of what I've seen.
He's
him
been
do.
doing that the entire time. All right,
I'm
so
technically correct.
you're sticking around again, waiting to spy upon somebody.
Well, I'm waiting for Councilman Antoinette to make her leave. So in the meantime, I'm trying to stick nearby the council building where I have a good view of where she might come out of. But
Fair enough.
out of sight.
Fair enough.
Man, I really want to stay and spy on him, but I had honeypot business to attend to.
Okay.
I guess we're
Think of
going
all
to-
those unsucked dicks.
So,
Damn.
Well, I think it's one sucked
Leon.
dick.
go ahead and give me a stealth check because you're trying to remain inconspicuous.
Mhm.
So let's have a stealth check for that.
All right, baby. You know.
You know, you're trying to blend in a bit and just be there.
All right, it's 23.
Okay. Okay.
Damn.
All right. You're making a beeline for the honeypot?
Oh, not a beeline, but yes, because technically I've already done the future thing, but yeah.
She's going for the D line.
Yeah, the D-line. Alright. You're gonna make a stop by the woodworker.
Yep.
And then you guys are making your way down to the honeypot or
To the guild.
to the guild. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go around the table and just kind of deal with it that way. Starting here, and since you two are together,
Yeah, I'm just tagging along with gold.
so
Jesus Christ, honey.
What?
This is like the 8th time.
I'm needy.
Keep the bag next to you.
Just
So-
ask Jonathan.
you guys arrive at the guild.
Oh, great heavens, I'm arriving. I told you I'd ruin that phrase for you.
I know.
Is that worthy of a D100?
No.
No, because
No, there will just be smacking happening later.
The time will come.
We're gonna go on break real quick.
Yeah. Not too old for me to throw you
Nothing on
across
that,
my
fair
knee and
enough.
spank you, boy.
That's fascinating.
That's a D100. Roll it.
Don't get a 69.
Oh, I kind of want the 69.
You kind of
Everyone wants the 69.
I'm so close. 63.
Oh, 3 off. No, wait.
Well,
6
6.
off.
Yeah.
I can't do math. I'm
Nah,
not
you
that smart.
stupid. 21.
Okay,
Yeah,
anyway,
three.
you two are at the Freelancers Association. You walk through the double doors of this building, as you have many times yourself, and for you, the first time you have really seen
I
this
think we
place.
did do this last session because I already.
You walked through once. That's
Yeah,
right.
This
you
is the
did.
second time going.
This is your second time going through it. As you walk in, it still is impressive to you.
This is still so cool and impressive.
Mhm. And as you make your way up towards the reception desk, once again you see Bart and Aiden at their respective posts.
Can we pause for a moment?
1001. There's your moment.
Jen, you have a curse.
It's literally is all the time
It
my
it
entire
happens
life.
like once a session.
It's either off and on hiccups all day forever,
Mhm.
or one hiccup and no other context.
I feel bad for you.
It's you get used to it. It's fine.
All right.
I have it.
Okay. Hiccups aside, what do? You are there before the reception desk, and you see the ever-present Aiden and Bart in their respective positions.
Us two.
Those
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
You ain't
Stay the
there.
No,
fuck out
I'm
of
just
this.
clarifying. So
Okay.
Listen.
No, he's aware.
I thought your name was Jen.
Exactly.
I'm just
Hold on, I
gonna.
gotta-
That's a
No, no.
D100
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, no,
Only I
guys.
picked that one up.
What was the
83,
game
I'm good.
Damn it.
We discussed that beforehand. Right?
Hey, but that's only
Right,
3
right
away.
now, we're just gonna have a discussion, so our characters can get to know each other a little better.
Fair enough.
And actually discuss the demon stuff.
Math
That
is
way you
hard.
get involved and know shit.
All right, so go ahead, guys.
Alright.
However you want to do it.
You
Well,
may kiss.
So I'm gonna go ahead and lead Patch up to the second floor balcony.
Okay. In the kind of the tavern area.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
tavern area. A little excluded,
Yep.
a little more private. But
Yeah.
He's gonna
Well,
do the whole
they
on
allow-
the balcony thing.
They
technically.
allow him up because he's with you as a guest. As you
I'm
make.
technically on their team now, right?
Or I'm
Oh
still-
yes,
yeah, he ran
technically
into
you are on
He's
the team.
roster.
But you're
So-
still under supervision. That's what Aiden told
The
us.
new
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, you're basically you're kind of in your probationary phase because new member, they haven't seen if you're worthy of being with a AA rated team yet or
That's
not.
right. I skipped a test.
So, but you're
And
allowed
then
up. You are
alcohol.
part of the team, and technically, even if you weren't, you'd be his guest. As you guys go up the stairs, get to that balcony space. There's not too many people up here this time of day. It's still a little bit early. It's like far enough after lunch that the lunch crowd has cleared out a little bit, and the ones down on there's more down on the main level, but it's really more the people that don't have anything else to do and are just enjoying drinking and probably planning on drinking for the rest of the day. The same goes with what you would assume the few people up here are doing, which one of them you recognize in her usual spot is D.
It's your girlfriend.
And she's just sitting there drinking. Doesn't say anything.
Can I get you something, Patch?
I don't really drink very much. Alcohol. I'll just try something basic.
Walks up to the bar. I need something basic, per my friend's request, and I'll have a bourbon neat.
Bourbon neat. Gotcha. He looks over at your friend. Basic.
So like spiked carrot juice?
No. He,
That is racist, but I am all for it.
It's racist, but it's true.
he walks along that raised platform that is behind the bar.
Sorry.
As he is a
Diet
dwarf,
carrot juice.
and the bar itself is
I'm watching
height,
figures.
height for the average medium-sized creature. So he's a little short for it. So he's got a raised platform that he's walking across back there. He kind of moves along it, goes, starts grabbing some things, comes over, sits down, a very nice crystal-looking glass in front of you, and pours nice bourbon. Pushes it towards you and says, "You want to start a tap?"
I think this will be it for now.
One moment. He starts digging around, going through a couple other things.
That's a record. That's two.
You see him pull out what looks to be like a little mortar and pestle, and he's got his back turned so as he's kind of working at it for a little bit, grabbing something, put some more in the
That's a
work at it,
drink?
and then
Not yet.
kind of strains it into a glass, turns around, and slams in front of you, pulls out like a little baby carrot that is split, puts it on the rim. As you look at this green liquid, that he then takes just a little bit of alcohol and gives it like a half shot. He says, "Wheatgrass."
Well, that looks marvelous. Thank you, friend. How much do I owe you?
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, that is mighty swell of you.
2 gold total. That's
gold?
tip included.
2.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, Patch. Let's go ahead and take a seat.
I follow him over to a table.
I'm going to make sure it's a table that it's a little further away where people aren't going
There's not many people up here. Like I said, D is up here.
Mm-hmm.
You see maybe
Like 2 other parties.
well, not even 2 other parties. It's more like 2 other people. One's over there. I mean, everyone's like as spread out as they can get in this balcony.
Whereas anti-socials we can be.
Yep. They're all drinking along.
Alright. Well, Patch, seeing as you're a member of the team now, I'd like to officially welcome you.
Thanks.
And I think as you have signed on to our team, we need to clear the air and get you up to speed with what's been going on.
All right, sounds reasonable.
So, as far as the demon girl elf things...
Yeah, I was a little curious about that, but I didn't really question it. Y'all seemed cool with it, so I, read in the room.
Well, what do you know so far? I know your village had that root problem.
Yeah, I hope that's going all right. I'm a little worried now, figuring out what happened to that other village, but my mentor was a pretty strong druid, so he's pretty good at what he did, so I reckon he's probably keeping them all right for the time being, hopefully.
So, you're a druid, you do spirit magic or nature magic?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely in tune with the elements.
You see, I grew up in a forest, so I feel like we would get along in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's stereotyping, but I'm still with it.
As far as our origins, I mean.
I'm an urban druid.
Fuck
you, I like-
up on the streets.
I like bricks,
My
bitch.
favorite terrain is the asphalt, bitch.
Streets.
Well, you are a bad.
Green.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you what we know then, so we can at least get you on par with information. You're an outside perspective, so you may actually have some good thoughts on all this. We originally started running into the room very swiftly after meeting that vampire lady.
Man, she was a bitch.
Yeah, the governess.
Pardon the language.
It's an apt describer. But met the vampire lady, where we also met the demon guy. We didn't know he was a demon at the time, because as you've seen, or actually you haven't
No,
seen
I've only seen him as a dude, but from what y'all have described, he was some kind of shapeshifter.
Yeah, he can take on many forms, which is the biggest pain in the ass right now,
Yeah, that'd make tracking him down kind of difficult.
to say the least. But soon after that, we discovered the root in Woodhurst. Lodged in a well, it contaminated the water supply, turning the town to undead. And working the root angle, we learned that there's some root in this town that's coming in on ships.
Y'all know who did it?
We know the ship, the Etruscan, is involved, but we don't
The
know
Etruscan.
if it's being smuggled on that ship or if the people who are surveying that ship are legitimately pushing this product.
There's no way I would have ever heard of any of these. Yeah, no, nowhere near the
No, you have no clue.
water.
Not only that,
And we know when it's coming in? Or
We-
y'all know, I should say?
no, there is no upcoming ship log to tell you that another ship of that nature is coming in or what ships are coming in at all. So,
Well, you got the ship name. Wouldn't you be able... Are they not on some kind of schedule?
not from what we've seen, unless we could get a hold of somebody who's on the Etruscan.
I would have figured that
You-
the dock
I don't know
might
if
You
this is
would-
metagaming or not.
You
but-
would remember
What?
from way back.
What
when-
I'm trying to say is,
Yes.
we actually did remember we snuck into the storehouse and we found out not only that it was the Etruscan,
Well, we
but
found the records of what ships came in.
that it
yeah.
comes in at approximately insert amount of
It
time.
was like 6 months, though.
It was
right?
like every 3 to 4 months.
yeah.
Yeah, which is a long time. in
Well,
game.
it's still a schedule. I just
Mhm. And
Roughly.
thus far, you have been in Kyber.
Mhm.
Well, I should say the campaign began. 'Cause you were in Kyber a little bit before that, but you've been just a little bit more than a month.
Mhm.
But a month is quite long in this world. It is 7 weeks, 49 days.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
yeah. So you're thinking, if you're talking 3 to 4 months, that's really like 150 to 200 days, approximately.
So is that updated? You've told me that roughly the time frame.
Whoop, 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 whoop. The Etruscan should be coming in about 2 to 3 months. Not entirely sure on the particulars, but we know it will be coming in eventually again. And whether they have more of that route on board is an entirely different question.
That's certainly better than having no information on it.
There's also that Oleana Winters chick, right?
I don't remember that.
No, when we rescued the Minotaur man and we raided the camp.
True, but
Oh
you're
yeah.
not there right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were
Well-
going to tell him information. So
Well,
Hey,
yeah, but
he
I'm the
wrote-
DM. This
Okay.
is stuff he would remember.
this is my bad.
Well, I was getting into the gang activity.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Metagaming!
No, you're good.
Alright.
Tomer's old associates, we ran into them at some club in town called the Horny Halfling, believe it or
Was he in
not.
some kind of gang or something?
From what I understand, yeah, at one point.
Hmm.
But his associates were peddling the route in town. We later ended up raiding one of their camps, where we found a contact and are going to be pushing that angle whenever that comes up. I think that was a month.
And they're trustworthy? I feel like they wouldn't be.
Well, they're not. That's why we're handling it.
All right. Is there any way to enforce that they keep their word, or
Well, their word's not entirely relevant. They no longer exist.
the person that agreed to help?
Well, they're not helping. They're stepping out, so that way, whenever they come in to deal the next shipment, we ambush them.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, because
You still got a while to wait, though. If only there was a way to figure out where they were going. Did y'all figure that out? They got to be going somewhere. I guess they don't have to share that, though.
no, they didn't share where they're coming from. And even then, the problem still persists here. Even if we go town to town tracking it down, it's not going to help the people here.
No, I suppose not.
So I think helping at the local level will help first, and then fry bigger fish as they come.
Have y'all found out anything? But like, obviously, the effects of the root are pretty detrimental. In terms of a cure, I'm guessing we haven't found anything, or
We have done some tests, mainly Tomer with his alchemy, to try and determine the origin of the root or anything we can do with it, but we found nothing of practical use.
yeah, we couldn't find out much either. That's why
We know it's,
we'll have to go look.
we should know simply that it's demonic in origin and it becomes a highly addictive drug that will easily kill.
So my mentor was taking care of the rest of the village, and I went out to see if I could find anything useful about it. Yeah, that was, what did you guess, like probably months ago, based on travel?
You've been traveling for a couple months.
Can I say that I've been regularly sending animal messengers? Do they go that far? Probably not.
Not really.
Would there be any way, like just trying
Do you
to
have a
convince an
sending spell?
animal to talking to an animal, just trying to convince them to go that distance?
You can always have tried. The problem is, the distance is great, and well, animals, they have
Sidetrack.
animal intelligence.
Yeah, the 4 or less.
It's, oh, you want to tell this sparrow to go fly and tell him, okay, so he'll start off on that, and then, ooh,
Tried to bribe a raven
berries!
with a coin or something.
yeah. So the odds of messages that way getting through, very unlikely. However,
But I tried.
Yeah, however, if you have the sending spell or anything like that, then you could have done that. Which, it doesn't look like you do. No, so yeah.
And obviously sending a letter is out of the question. Is
Nope.
there kind of...
I mean,
In my head, it was kind of a secluded place.
you could try. You could pay to have a messenger deliver a letter. It's going to take time. It took you I wouldn't say quite 2 months to get from where you were, but close to
So
it.
it's secluded but not totally secret. So I absolutely would have paid to have a letter sent
Okay.
of
Now,
some
that-
kind, just kind of updating them on the situation and
Mhm.
asking how things are going. And I'm going to put in that my place of residence is the honeypot now. I assume that was established. That's where everyone was staying.
Yeah, and
some
I'll
point.
say that over the course of your journeys, you managed to apply your skills and your abilities a little bit as needed to get enough coin to support yourself, as well as a little bit extra that you
Yeah,
needed for
I
things
think I
like
had
that.
like 10 gold total
Yeah, so
left over.
yeah, so you were able to get that. So you covered the cost out of that, but
Okay.
now that's basically gone, and you have what's on your sheet.
Yeah, well, they just shared the pay from the
Yeah.
last mission.
Well, yeah,
So
not counting that, but I'm saying, we'll say the letter was sent out of what you earned on your journeys to help
Okay,
you
right
on
on.
your journey. It was enough to pay someone to actually take a horse, rations, and everything, and try to bust their ass to get as fast as I could to your hometown.
Yeah, I probably would have sent another one at this point now that I actually have an established place of
In that case, you're gonna have to subtract 20 gold
That's fine.
because it's
That'd be worth it to pay.
yeah,
for
because
sure.
it's the distance is so great.
Yep.
And just the expense of, I need food, it's going to take time, it's got to be worth my while to deliver this freaking message. That
Yeah,
kind of
no argument there. That's perfectly fine.
thing. Okay.
All right, sorry, kind of derailed that a little bit.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, we haven't. So you haven't found out where it's going much more than that. It's still good info. Man, am I glad I was able to find y'all, and y'all were kind of working on along the same lines that I was.
It's highly
I've been,
convenient, I'll give it that.
Well, it might seem like not very long to you guys, but I've been looking through every town trying to find out some information between what was the name of the town again? The main one,
Yours or
the continent.
the continent that you're on is Eotris, or the continent
the
that
one that
you're
I came
from
from.
is Eotris.
Eotris, northern Eotris, all the way to here.
I meant the Eotris on the side. On your travels, did you encounter any other towns that were having this issue?
Thank you. That's an excellent question, friend. Would I have? Nothing, or would I have encountered it, but nothing was meaningful, or was it just
Okay, sorry.
devoid?
What exactly was the question? Encounter any towns?
Between the towns, between northern
Yeah.
Eotris and here, would I have encountered this problem anywhere else?
The problem, no.
So
You have gone through several towns. In fact, you know of 4 towns that you made your way through on your way to getting to Kyber. A fairly large town, about half the size of Kyber, so pretty decent size. On the west side of the mountains, in the north part of Eotris, called River Bay. You passed through there. You spent a couple nights there to try to do some investigation. You got enough information to lead you on further, which took you past a smaller village, a little bit bigger than what you're from. Okay, maybe they have a couple thousand. So they're still like a town, but they're not a city. Called Banrockburn. That the interesting thing about both River Bay and Banrockburn is the sheer number of halflings. They are primarily populated by halflings. There are also
I can feel tall.
There are also quite a few gnomes in there, and then a smattering of the other races mixed in. But it seems like it is an area that is primarily for the littler people, halflings, gnomes, things like that. So they seem to congregate here in both River Bay and Banrockburn. You then made your way further south, and at the edges of a swampy forest, you come upon Leaside. Leaside is a little bit smaller than Banrockburn. They maybe have about 1,500 people. This one is more of a mix. But again, the time you spend there and the amount of information you gather leads you on further. Eventually,
I assume there had to have been some kind of a trail that led me to where I was.
Yes, it's more rumor and anything, and the best information you're getting is actually from Speak with Plants and Speak with Animals.
That's what I have for this.
Fucking druid.
Yeah, gang war between the gnomes and halflings.
These are roots too. You guys are basically related, right?
Yeah. But no, I mean it's you're getting little tiny bits of information that are just leading you here. But it was so minuscule that if you had not had the ability to talk to the animals and plants whose senses are typically keener than the average humanoid, there's no way you would have picked this stuff up. But then that led you through Wailing, a fairly large city, almost of the size of Kyber, that is pretty much right on the edge of Korstal before you cross over into Eotris. It's where the little land bridge is going across.
Mm-hmm.
And then you eventually made your way to Kyber. And all of that took you probably about 70 to 80 days of travel because of the terrain, and you were taking time to investigate. Almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, months, about 49 days.
Yeah, most of what led me here were rumors from the plant and animal life. There wasn't a whole lot of useful info from the towns that I went through.
Ah, so you too can speak to animals.
Indeed.
That's nice.
Are you able to as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I think you're really caught up to speed. I'm sure there's stuff that I forgot. I'm not the best at explaining things.
Yeah, me neither. That's okay.
That's alright. We'll just enjoy each other's company until the others arrive.
Cheers to that, friend.
Cheers.
All right. Leon,
Yay.
as you're waiting there, hour goes by, another hour.
Yep.
Then it's starting to get, it's late afternoon now. You can actually see, and remember, a lot of this stuff is happening it's its own time and other things happen. It's starting to get into the late afternoon, and you see that clouds have been rolling in from the horizon, primarily to the south of town. But they are indeed rolling in. You can kind of see the heaviness, the darkness of the clouds,
I started to
and
think
light
about
light playing in the distance.
I started thinking about Tomer and wonder how he's doing.
And as you're doing that, I need a perception check.
Perception.
I'm okay at those.
Perception, please.
I think I still have that DM inspiration from way back when, the reroll.
You do.
Alright, I'm gonna make sure that this is a good roll.
Okay, you.
Alright. I'm just gonna keep that. You know what? No, I'm gonna fucking spend the DM inspiration.
All right, it's gone now.
Yeah, that's much better. 17.
Okay. You notice at about this time, several people are exiting the front of the council chambers. You start out by seeing some very finely dressed people exiting, wearing robes that clearly identify their position as councilmen. And in the small group of 6 that are coming out, in there is Councilwoman Antoinette.
Alright.
You don't see the other 4 that would be with them, as there are a total of 10, which you're able to figure out. Nor do you see the one that would obviously be the Count himself, as, you know, there's no difference in the basics of the robes. Nothing that would set them apart.
Yeah.
So you don't honestly know if the Count was actually ever there, or if the other 4 council members were there, or if they're just still in there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, besides knowing which one is Antoinette, right?
yes, and you don't know who the other 5 are that are there.
Not hard to care, because I'm going to start trailing her.
Okay. As they are making their way through Northgate towards Eknot, they're all walking together, and as the sky begins to darken more and more, eventually they stop. You know, they're talking for a little bit, and they're kind of looking up at the sky. You're maybe a good 40 feet away, kind of observing. So you can't hear them. But they're talking, they're looking up, and you can kind of make the assumption maybe they're concerned that it's going to start raining. And after a little bit of debate and deliberation, eventually they all, as a group, move over towards one of the side streets. It's still a very wide street. It is still very well traveled. They follow that down, then take another turn, and as you are kind of making your way following them, I will need another stealth check.
Alright.
What a stealthy boy.
Use this die instead. That's going to be an 18.
Okay. You feel like not a problem. This is easy. This is what you
That's what
do.
I do.
You are
The
actor.
guy.
You are the guy.
You are the guy.
The guy.
I watched the guy.
So you
You can
make
be the guy.
you make your way around
My
the
son!
around the corner, keeping an eye on them, and you see that they've approached what appears to be, in effect, a taxi stand, as there are covered little carts and carriages that seem to be pulled by hand.
By hand?
Yes, rickshaws, basically, but with covers on them.
Okay.
And
I will see, as I see that, you can continue with descriptions after this, so, like, if that takes effect before I
why, thank you.
do this action. But not. You know
We'll
what I
allow
mean.
it.
Oh, thank God.
You know what I mean.
I was really wanting to describe these.
I know.
Thank
My
you for
point
your
is, I just
information.
want to put forth that I'm casting invisibility, and I'm trying to
Okay.
get closer.
Yep, no worries, no worries. So you can go ahead and roll another die for a stealth check, basically as advantage.
Yeah. So
That's
just one more.
Yeah, just one more, and if you get higher,
I stand invisible.
30.
Okay.
So yeah, nat 20.
Damn.
You find yourself no longer on this plane of existence.
Just disappears completely.
My
oh
man
shit,
is
that was the
one
wrong invisibility spell.
So unknown, he could be inside her.
Yes.
She wouldn't even notice.
Ew. Come on, man.
He's
Well-
a one-woman guy. He's got D.
I'm loyal.
He's in a committed
So
relationship now.
You make your way close to, and you notice that the councilmen, each one, with the exception of one pair of them, get in the same rickshaw, but then the remaining 4 each get in their own,
All right.
including Councilman Antoinette. Now, they all seem to be heading in the same general direction. However, as you get
Look that up. Rickshaw.
as you get towards Eknot, you see the walls of Eknot and the gates to it looming before you. The gate is still open. Guards are there. But the sconces and braziers at the openings are lit due to the darkness being imposed by the oncoming storm blackening the sky. And as the rickshaws make their way through, they kind of break off into different directions in order to take the council members to their individual estates, as all council members are nobles. And therefore, pretty much every single one lives in Eknot.
Well, you see, now, I didn't know that before that, but that makes me dislike them even more. Oh, yes. Our elected positions, which all happen to be nobles as well.
The rich.
Okay, Robin Hood.
I mean, it's kind
No,
of...
not redistribute the wealth, and just slaughter them.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm just hungry.
hungry
Just
man.
wealth.
It should be all you, man. You're a werewolf. You just eat
Man,
them.
yeah.
So,
But I'll, of course, be following
you follow her.
We're not going to speak about this.
She ends up, it's another about 5 minutes, and keeping up with this rickshaw, it takes a little effort because, I mean, this guy's hauling butt, moving this thing. Okay? But you're keeping pace, staying a little bit behind, and
Imagine like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
In the cart.
and eventually it pulls up in front of, compared to some of the other estates that you've passed and that you've seen around, a relatively modest estate.
All right.
And Councilman Antoinette steps down from the rickshaw, pays the man, and walks through the main gate of her estate. And just as she is doing that, you feel a drop of rain hit your head, and then another drop's coming down, another, and then you see her kind of, look up for a bit and kind of cover her head, and she hustles her way inside under the covered front porch, up the stairs, kind of looks out at the sky for a bit, and then opens her front door, walks in and closes it.
All right.
That's all you see unless you are attempting anything further.
Well, I'm trying to get inside the building,
Okay.
so I want to know like a general outside layout.
It
Yeah,
is,
gotta get
again, a relatively simple estate. In terms of size, honestly, it's probably only about the same size as the governess's estate that you infiltrated in Imstead. For here in Eknot, that's modest.
Yeah.
That's very modest.
Coincidence? I think not.
What a modest lady.
Yes. So it's not very large. You would know, looking at it sideways, since you've been in one that size and had the ability to study the layout. This looks very similar, size-wise and probably overall. It's 2 stories. It, most likely only has 3 or 4 bedrooms probably on the second floor. And then, some kitchens, storage rooms, like a sitting room, a dining room, a couple things like that. But other than that, very modest.
All right.
So there's not probably not much to it.
And are there multiple entrances?
You would know, houses like this. You've seen houses like this before, not just in Imstead. In your previous endeavors, back up in Duskvale and in Ravensbarrow.
Yep.
Structures this size, especially in a noble's estate, there's got to be a place for the servants to enter without bothering, the oh-so-mighty and important nobles. You know there's got to be a back entrance somewhere. Possibly a couple. Maybe one directly into a kitchen, as you've seen many times before. Maybe one into a storage area, or even one that might lead down into a storm cellar or something similar that eventually you could access the rest of the house through. You know that there are possibilities there. And by all means, even if there weren't such things, odds are that there may be balconies off of upper floor rooms that you could get access to and then find your way in through windows or doorways leading to said balconies. You've done such things in the past.
Well, then I am going to first. I'm obviously currently invisible, so it's not like it matter right yet. But I'm gonna pull up the hood that I have, which I haven't really done before. He's the hood man.
Yeah.
That sounds really bad out of context.
Not anymore.
Yes.
Hey, yo, you from the hood,
Wear
man?
the hood.
Hey, yo, damn you.
Way to
He's a
differentiate.
he's a werewolf, not a rat.
Also
So he can't be a hood rat. He can
You
be a
never
werewolf.
wear yours.
No, but I
Well,
have.
he's also an orc.
Yes.
All right. Well,
As soon as it starts raining, I'll pull you
so
up.
A hood orc, does that make him a hork?
it makes him an
But I
hood.
think you need to roll a d100.
I think so.
And I'm gonna see if I get a 16 and see if something bad happens to the DM.
Nope, 92.
All right. Hey, that's
Never
only 3
gonna
away.
happen.
Oh, it could.
I will end you.
Do we,
I think
Bury
it
you
has a
next to
100.
Ajax.
do we know what was supposed to happen
With?
with the rolly thing?
Oh, you don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, okay, I
It's a
wasn't
mystery.
sure
Okay.
if we were aware or not. I wanted to make sure.
If I make a bad pun
no,
and I
no,
roll,
no, I understand
something
why
really
you
good's
rolled.
going to happen to you guys.
Okay, see that was
If
the...
you roll a 69, something really bad's going to happen to that one person.
Free feet for everyone.
Okay, so as I said, I'm pulling up my hood. I'd like to ask, roughly how long has it been since I casted invisibility?
I'm going to say,
Orker.
I think that's what, an hour?
Yeah,
Or is
the
it 10
invisibility
minutes?
lasts for an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed
It's
orcers.
probably been about 45
Oh,
minutes.
I meant.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and recast that
Mhm.
before trailing. Yep.
You could do that. You could wait a little bit longer. You know the timing of your spells. You could
Okay, so
you could wait closer to the time and still know that, okay, it's going to run out. I
All
should
right.
cast it.
as long as we're
No,
communicating.
you're fine. As long as you're saying, I'm going to pay attention to that and cast it again when it's time,
All right.
you're good.
So with that, then I kind of survey around the building, and I try to see if I can find a back entrance that also has an adjacent window that gives me a view into things. Because I think it would be really bad if I walked into a room that someone was currently in, and there's the door open. What?
Mhm.
Must have been the wind.
Oh, must have been the wind.
As you're looking
It
at
is
the
a
back,
cyber
there are two entrances. One's actually on the side,
Alright.
and then the other is in the back.
Mhm.
Neither of which have windows
And
close to
back.
them.
Do they have
So
like-
you don't know. So there are some windows along the back and the side, but you do not know if those are part of the same room or maybe a different room. So you don't know if you're actually going to be looking into the same room that the door for either door. Just because of the windows are far enough away that it's like, okay, I'm not sure.
Do they have maybe a keyhole or something?
Yeah, each of the doors has keyholes.
Am I able to look through the keyhole?
You can try, but it's very limited into what you can see.
Yeah, but it's cliche, so it has to work.
Yeah, no, that's not how things work.
Uh,
Cliche doesn't mean it works.
Roll the cliche dice.
Cliche
So,
dice, yes.
would you have me roll
glitchy
perception then?
I'm going to say perception with disadvantage for that.
Alright, we're gonna use the red die for that.
Is that your bad die?
That's my angry die.
Yeah, it's my angry die.
angry die. That's either an 18 or natural 1.
For a total
Or
of
5.
5. Okay.
What?
Yeah, it is hard to actually make out if there's anyone in there
We ain't found
You can
shit.
see into the room a little bit, but the problem is the size of the keyhole and the fact that, you know, the way keyholes work, from especially ones that are like from either side,
Yeah.
is you got this keyhole, and then you got space in between, and you got this other keyhole. And so if you move too far to one side, boom, it kind of closes off your vision, your line of sight. So you really have a tiny little line that you can look at. And you can't see anyone in there. You see some light. You see what looks like, you know, perhaps some kind of table and then a wall, maybe a shelf above the, you know, on the wall somewhere.
This
Some
is the
stuff-
side door, right?
This is the side door. But other than that, I can't really make out much.
All right. Well, time to take action. I'm going to first just slowly try the knob to see if it's unlocked.
Okay. It is.
Okay. It's open. Well, I'm gonna see if I can just slowly creak it open and now look through.
Okay, give me a stealth check for this.
All right. And
Or is
this
desperately
This is
Wait,
not
wait,
advantage because this is based on sound.
all right. And straight roll.
Unless you have a silent spell.
Blew the die. Yep. Blew the
It needs WD-40 badly. It's like,
That didn't go in. 18.
18,
It's
okay.
Luigi's Mansion door.
You managed to just barely get the door open, being very careful, listening to see if the hinges are going to squeak at all, and you actually kind of stop a moment when you're like, okay, I can almost feel that there's going to be a squeak here,
Mhm.
and you really just go the slowest of slow, taking literally 15 seconds to go from that far open to that far open. And you think you're past the squeaky point. You move it just a little more and you peek inside. As you're looking inside, what you see is a kitchen. There is a few lamps lit, placed around the kitchen itself. There is a nice big fireplace with a cooking pot on it. There's a fire roaring. There seems to be some kind of stew that is boiling in the pot.
Do it smell good?
I'm at soup.
Yeah, you can catch a whiff or two.
No
of
soup
soup.
for you.
And it does smell. It does smell pretty decent.
Well, at least they have good chefs. You know, I
Yeah.
can't fault them on that.
You don't see anyone in here currently, but you don't know how long ago they were in here. I mean, maybe someone just stepped out. Maybe they're about to step back in. You don't know.
All right.
See wet footprints across the kitchen.
In that case, at this point, how long is left in invisibility?
Oh yeah, you haven't wasted much time at all.
Well, see,
You haven't even recast it yet.
the problem is, it does have verbal, somatic, and material components.
If you want to recast it right now, you can.
And yeah, I want to cast it to make sure I have enough buffer time that I'm not in the middle of the room and it's about to run out and there's 5 people and I have to go, hey guys, I'm casting invisibility! hey!
Why was I
invisible.
light
I
this fire?
just need to know, what do you mean you're at soup? Thank you,
What do you
Hannah.
mean you're at soup?
What do you mean you're at?
Why are you buying clothes?
So yeah, I recast invisibility and then
Okay,
ever so slowly I'm gonna keep opening the door and walk inside
no problem.
and shut the door behind me.
You managed to do such.
Alright.
You do notice that you have trailed a little bit of water in. I mean, it had started to sprinkle a little more and more.
One of those
And so you did get
mystery movies.
You did get some on you, so there is some water that has now kind of shed off your body a little bit onto the floor in front of this now closed door.
How unfortunate. I'll just have to cope.
Seethe.
Mauled.
Mauled.
Yeah. What are you doing?
So you said it's a kitchen. There's some fairly basic kitchen things like lamps, right, and tables.
Lamps, there are shelves
and shelves.
all over, shelves across, like the
Cupboards.
shelf that you thought you saw through the keyhole, you see across the way, has what you can only assume are bags and jars and
Right.
containers of different spices and things like that. There is a table laid out in the middle of the room, which that's kind of the edge of the table. You caught through the keyhole, so you thought, yeah, there's a table.
But, like,
on
none
it,
of that- none of that
there's a
stuff
whole
really
bunch of
matters. Yeah.
kitchen accoutrements, knives, spoons, ladles, plus vegetables, things like that are on there.
Yeah, Tori, a different character,
Mm-hmm.
I would start napping.
Okay.
But I'm more intrigued by any kind of doors leading into other areas.
There is a door to your left,
All right.
and there is one on the far side, a little bit offset. You would have seen it through the keyhole if you could have looked at more of an angle, but it just wasn't physically possible.
Yeah. All right.
So-
I will go up to the door on my left side, and I want to try and listen for anything on the other
Okay.
side.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Do not fail me, rude eye. 16.
He failed you.
No.
I hope not at 16.
I hope not.
You hear what sounds like several voices. One you recognize, Councilman Antoinette's.
Right.
You also hear a deeper voice, a very masculine, deep voice speaking back and forth. You can kind of hear the banter. You can't make out everything they're saying, but they're talking back and forth. And you also hear the sound of some higher pitched, a little bit more juvenile voices talking as well.
All right.
This man just
Best you
make
can
out-
figure is
This man just
Can we make it like
snuck in
anything?
this is the family.
Right. Yeah.
This man just
They
snuck
seem
in
to be
during dinner.
talking about very mundane things. You catch, how was your work? Anything important happened today, dear? You also, catch the response of
It was some asshole when you walked in. fucking shoved a
very,
decapitated head on my desk.
you catch, very, very busy. Nothing you need worry about or anything like that.
Another tax proposal.
It's nothing. honey.
Questions to the
What's
children
wrong?
about
Nothing.
their day of schooling.
What do you want for
Things
dinner?
like that. What you do catch as well is you also hear another voice. Sounds like a middle-aged woman's voice, asking if they'd like anything else, if she needs to fetch it from the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Let me pour you some more drink. But while this conversation is going on a little bit, you do hear, in response to the question from what you assume is the husband's voice, to Councilman Antoinette about her day. She does mention something about a troubled individual that made a meeting with her today and told her about some things. And she said, I've written up some dispatches to do this, to go investigate the docks on this request. I really don't know what else to do. I hope they'll find that it is nothing and we can move on. But the implications about what he says, you hear her voice kind of drop a little bit. Give me another perception check.
Okay, come on. If anyone's in chat right now and has enough points, buy me advantage, please.
Oh,
We're not on Twitch.
I would if we
You're
were on
right,
Twitch.
never mind.
Wait,
Fuck.
hold on. No, I bought you one last session.
Is that still in effect, or?
Wait,
I must check the log.
I must check the Twitch.
I know I bought you inspiration.
I know you did, and I know I didn't use it, but I don't know if that carries over.
It should.
I don't know what the ruling was. I remember you mentioned
Inspiration or
something.
advantage?
Whatever it's
I think it's
called.
advantage.
Yeah.
I know some of these words.
I know I bought it for you last session, and then you spoke for a total of 3 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't really get to do much last session. Not complaining, but I was like, oh, I'm so ready to do some rolls. 0 rolls.
It won't show me. Because it's not live on there, it won't show me. Alright.
Is Twitch down right now?
No, Twitch isn't down right now. It's because we're not live on Twitch right now. It won't
Twitch?
show me that.
bitch.
Let me try one more time.
Just give yourself bardic inspiration.
I can't. You can't use Bardic Inspiration yourself.
Oh, that's the worst feature I've
It
ever
is
heard.
the worst feature ever. It's not. It gives me extra AC and stuff like that for my subclass, so it's based.
Yeah, you're right. Like, rogues being able to disengage its bonus action is one of the worst
Alright,
things.
yeah, it doesn't show me anymore.
It's not OP at all.
Yeah, it won't. It
feel
doesn't
like it
show me
is.
right here because we're not live, so it won't show me who's got what.
No advantage.
So I do not know if you actually do, but
He
you
says
know what? I'll be nice.
Yay! Okay. I'm gonna roll both dice at once.
Smart man.
it turns out you don't have it, he'll give you disadvantage on a roll of his choice.
Disadvantage on my performance roll the next time I meet D.
Your performance will automatically be low.
Your performance was...
Alright, that's an 18.
Okay. Even though her voice drops a little bit, a little quieter, you don't think it's like for your benefit. You think it's...
Probably for the children's benefit?
You think it's like, I don't want the children to hear the adult business.
Did you technically roll the length?
But you do catch because you think, okay, they must be sitting closer to me than the children are.
Mm-hmm.
You hear her say, the implications. I just pray he's not right. But I've done all I can. And you hear, take it one step at a time, my dear. Do your best. The people will recognize your efforts.
Well, she seems like a wholesome woman.
And then you
killing knife away.
And then you hear,
You have to do it if you want to preserve it. You should decide on that.
Muriel, please, could you fetch us some more wine?
I'm gonna
At once,
just...
milady, and
Yeah, for
I need a dexterity save right now.
Slaps you in the face of the door.
no, Ben.
19.
As soon as you hear that, your instincts kick in, and you spin and flatten yourself as quietly as you can against the wall as the door swings in and stops about a couple inches from your face.
I have your door.
As a woman walks into the kitchen, goes over to a cupboard, opens it up, looks through, grabs a bottle of wine, pops the cork, and then carries it out, and then closes the door behind her. She goes back into the dining room. You don't think you were caught. Nobody seems to have seen you.
So I'm gonna make my way to the other door.
Okay? Easy enough. No one's in here at the moment. You get over there.
I'm gonna do another listen.
You hear nothing.
Okay. And I'm going to repeat what I did with the outside door to go through this door.
Okay.
So just slowly open.
It's not a problem. You've gotten used to this now. Okay. A little different from the way the hinges are designed up north. But you think you... Up north.
Up north, the hinges are sideways.
That's just a slightly different design. Different... Perhaps it's the wood, and the way that they connect the metal hinges to it. Perhaps it's, the manufacturers of hinges and things like that down here.
Mm.
The local artisans, and maybe they just have a different way of doing it. But you think you're used to it. You can handle some of the basic idiosyncrasies of it. So you go ahead and open it without much noise. You look into what looks to be a small, fairly well-lit room, but not too much to it. It has 3 small beds in there, almost more like cots, with little, like a foot, like a foot locker? A little a chest at the foot of each. It looks to be a nightstand. There's a couple small armoire type things, but short. In this room, it's fairly simply laid out. And that window, you see, there's that window there, and you do see the other door that would have been the back door on the back side of the building that comes in. This to you looks like a servant's quarters.
Alright. And there's no other doors attaching to this room?
No. There is the one that it's in the outside wall, so you assume that's the one for the back. And then there is this door. And that is it.
Alright, well, it's good to be thorough, in my opinion, in places that aren't the kitchen, because, if I'm being honest, I think the kitchen is probably the last place anything important would be found.
So it should be the first you look.
So it's the first yes, of course. So maybe my logic is flawed, but I was not going to search the kitchen. But I will go ahead and search around a little bit in the servants' quarters, like under beds and in dressers
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
It's gonna be a piss run. We used to red die for this one.
19.
Good grief. You're rolling like a beast.
You end
I
up
have the heart of the dice.
you end up finding,
Dun, dun.
you know, you end up finding some delicate underclothes here and there. You also find
Nosebleeds.
a few coins.
I
You know,
don't
usually
take them.
kept in like a small pouch.
Not a fucking thief.
I take the 4 copper. Stomp.
Fuck your wages! Mine!
You find
Poor.
a holy text to one of the major gods.
Which one?
Shalom.
Not that I'm there.
You're not Shenmue.
Just out of pure curiosity.
That's a
Now you're gonna make me look. All right, hold on.
The god of
It's
Joe.
silver
Sit
coin.
Joe Mama!
Oh!
See, now I have to pull this up.
Something silver.
Can't
Wait a
this priestess
second.
of Joe.
The dwarven god of creation.
Dwarven gold of
Digging
Banana.
really deep holes at the beach.
Of imagination.
imagination.
of
Of big booty
this would
bitches.
be
also creation, yeah. Big booty bitches.
God of digging really deep holes at the beach.
Hilo,
Hilo.
the god Hilo, god of courage and self-sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Respectable.
That's a pretty shitty god.
Why?
Also, it has the domain of war.
That god smites you from all the way. You thought that, like, man, that god sucks.
I heard you talking shit!
From all the way
Curse you
down
with
to
selfishness.
town.
Glass explodes in your hand and cuts your hand. Oh, man.
Oh man, I liked that glass.
All right, so
And besides that,
besides that, you find nothing of interest.
Alright. Then, make my way back into the kitchen, back to the other door, and listen in again to see if they're, like, on the other side or whatever.
Is there anything in particular you are attempting to gain knowledge-wise or things like
I'm-
that in this house?
I'm trying to sneak into some kind of, den or something, like an office, something like that, or perhaps the master bedroom, and search through those rooms in particular.
Okay.
Well, what were you trying
What
to
are you
look for?
trying to find, if anything?
Anything involving the route, or perhaps allocation of guards, or things I could blackmail with them with, honestly.
You're a
Okay.
monster.
And
I
he says
am-
I'm
that
not going to take
I'm
their 4
evil.
copper. I just
Okay.
want to blackmail them.
If I can make a
I
change
just
in
want
the
her
city,
nudes.
All right,
I found her OnlyFans.
you know with your
I'll leak the password.
with your expertise in this kind of operation
maybe I am.
that this is going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience.
Mhm.
So we're going to leave you there for the moment and come back later.
Works for me.
Persephone.
What the fuck?
We already know what you're
Everyone
going to do.
point and laugh.
Anything in particular?
It's the same thing I did last
Okay.
time. We're just going to it actually happening.
Okay, because it already
I
technically.
mean,
we
I can
already
do
did
it on camera if you want.
Well, we already
but-
did it. Yeah.
Well, I passed a note. We didn't
Yeah,
like
well, that's
announce
true.
it, but yeah, that's the only thing
So-
I got going on.
So Persephone, you went back to the honeypot,
I did. I have the notes still.
and
They're gonna get married underground.
well, you found a young man who is eager to resume the
Nighttime
activities of
Sex.
the previous night. And once again, you didn't have to work very hard. This boy just rocked your world. He doesn't. You don't really seem to care if he got his rocks off, but you were happy.
It's gonna suck if he underperforms this time.
Anything else?
He was
in
anxious
particular?
No,
this
that's,
time.
that's all I
Okay.
got.
Can't even get it up.
I'm just so tired.
They're working me to the bone.
Tomer.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I have plans for this.
So,
That's what
Don't
I
get
did.
hit by lightning.
Oh, I plan to.
Oh shit.
I swing by the shop Pick up the statues the first thing.
And just as promised, the statue is there, and it is beautifully done. You pay for it. He, thanks you for your patronage of his business, and says that if you need anything else, he's more than happy to oblige, and he's glad that you are pleased with the quality of his work.
Perfect. Now, I'm gonna go. I already still have the pamphlets and the books from the church, and it is gonna rain.
Yes.
I'm gonna go straight ahead and head to Tomer's gravesite.
Okay.
I'm gonna be wearing the same outfit that I wore the day that I lost Tomer. That I lost Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Tomer too.
No. So
God damn it! It was a tumor.
I'm gonna go in that outfit. I'm gonna have a small pouch of offerings. I'm also gonna stop and get a small little. I'm gonna refill one of my flasks at the honey pot, and then I'm gonna head straight there.
Pour one out for the boy.
We're just drowning.
As you arrive south of the city of Kyber, out in the fields, where there's a mixture of open grassland and forest kind of mixed. Some trees, yet some is nice and open and able to be looked upon for distance, is Ajax's grave. You stand before it as you feel the first drops of rain begin to fall down. What are you doing?
I'm gonna set up the statue right next to the lightning rod, which is the moon touch sword.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna prepare and set up a little. I'm scratching my foot on the chair. I'll take my old hood,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna put the hammer on top.
So got you.
Once the lightning starts, I'm going to cut my hand, activate Crimson Right on the moon touch sword to make it electrified.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going to cut my hand again and do it on the hammer.
Okay.
And once the rain and the thundering starts, I'm going to start praying and just channeling with the weapon, with the prayers that I was told.
Okay. As you do these things and the rain starts to come down more, you begin to focus and throw yourself into the prayers that just recently you have learned and have been doing your best to commit to memory. The sounds, the words, the thoughts, the actions. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I believe in you. Godspeed.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I still have the DM advantage if I need it. Oh, fuck me. 19?
Okay. As the rain falls down around you
I have no plus.
and the winds begin to howl,
No, I got a 19. I have no plus to my wisdom.
streaks of light rip through the clouds at jagged angles as the lightning begins to play across the sky. A loud boom as thunder sounds. You feel the force of it in your chest. And somehow you feel it even deeper than that. Deep, deep down inside your soul. At the core of who you are. A place you're not sure you're even fully aware of. A rumble begins. It's low. Barely perceptible at first, but it begins to grow until you feel a rise to a roiling, tumultuous cacophony within you that is matching the intensity of the storm as it begins to swirl more and more around you. Lightning flashing down, the thunder almost deafening in your ears, the rain drenching you. I need another wisdom save.
Still have the advantage if I need this. Nat 20.
You got a 19 into a 20 with no...
That feeling deep within you. The beast begins to fight you for control. It longs to be to feed upon the flesh of the living. Your tongue licks your lips involuntarily as you begin to salivate at the thought of tearing into a living, breathing creature. A deer. A cow. No. A human. Yes.
Carnivores.
Human flesh would be so delicious. Pictures of people that you've seen on the street begin to flash through your vision, and you see yourself tearing into them and feasting upon them. It's all so intoxicating, you can barely control how much you're reveling in it. It's only through your sheer will that you haven't let go yet. Then those images of the random people twist and turn into images of your friends. You see yourself rip your claws through them as they fall before your might. And as the blood drips from your claws, a combination of desire for more and complete horror at what you've done fight for dominance within your thoughts. A feral growl grows in your mind, and you aren't sure if it's your voice or someone else's. But you hear, "Give in to me." Do you fight it or not?
I fight it. I'm not.
Give me another wisdom
I'm
save.
not letting anybody near my family. 18.
Let's go. 19,
I don't
I
know
don't
why
want
you
and
sound
an 18.
surprised.
A
sir.
new sensation comes to your awareness. Your hands wrap tightly around the haft of Ajax's warhammer. Begin to feel warmth emanating from it. Your palms sense it first, and then your fingers. It's electric and almost burns as sparks begin to travel from the place where your hands rest upon the haft of the hammer, and then it spreads, moving into your forearms, up through your biceps, and eventually into your shoulders, as your veins feel as if they were on fire with electric light. That storm of feral violence deep in your core, hunger and a lust for blood, still rage on. And you feel those two opposing forces, one from within and one from without, fighting for control. You feel almost helpless and trapped within a struggle between titanic forces that are waging a war for your soul, your body being the battleground. Then a familiar voice, heard only in your mind as a whisper, urges you, "Fight, damn you." What do you do?
I fight.
Give me another wisdom save.
Do you fight for the right to party?
It's not that kind of party. 18 again.
Bro,
Yes.
fucking cheater, guys. Holy moly.
You want him to succeed.
I need to succeed or I'm killing all of you.
I don't know why you sound surprised.
That's
The-
insanity.
The fury within clashes against the spread of pure electric power and heat. You cling to the words from that voice. "Fight, damn you! Fight!" The voice of your friend, gone from this life, but not gone from your heart, is that lifeline you need. And you reach for it, you grasp it with all of your will. Your head flies back as a scream is torn from your throat. Anguish, pain, rage, despair, all pour forth from you as your scream fills the night sky, competing with the very thunder itself. Your eyes see a light streaking down from the heavens above, and then it fills your vision entirely in a blinding flash as a bolt strikes the head of Ajax's hammer and joins the electricity that's ripping through your arms. And this is where we're going to take a break.
Okie doke.
All right, and we are back
Hello.
with a nice little canned pop right at the beginning. So, where we left off, Tomer, as your eyes begin to blink open, The sky is still dark. Rain still falls all around you. But that fury of the storm is past. You're soaked to the bone. You're covered in dirt, and you're sore all over. You pick yourself up off the ground. Remnants of the pain as that electric bolt surged through your body still linger, but they are mere shadows of what it had been at the time. You're not exactly sure what happened, but something feels different. You still feel that beast inside you at the core of you. It yet hungers and desires for blood and death, but it's different. It seems somehow tamed, as if it truly recognizes its master. Ready to be unleashed at a moment's notice, but only if its master commands. Game mechanics wise, what is the stats as far as when you go berserk, hit points wise?
Below. I think it's below 26. It's bloodlust.
And is it like a percentage of your health or just?
It's once my health gets to 26 or less, I must
Okay.
succeed
That
in a
sounds
wisdom
like half.
saving throw.
That has dropped by half. 13 or less. And if that changes based on your level, it'll be half of whatever it says on the sheet.
Okay.
So you have more control over the beast. It still is a beast. It still is wild and chaotic. But you are its master. Additionally, you have learned something about this hammer as you now hold it in your hands. I believe I did give that
Yeah, you
to
do.
you. They gave you the mall +1. However, what I do need to look up.
Roll out.
Okay, so what you learn about this. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Bless.
You.
Is this hammer now has a name.
God, yes.
It is called Ajax's Wrath.
Oh, yes.
It has multiple states of power. You have unlocked its awakened state. It functions as a +1 weapon, but it gains the following benefits. Thunderous Blow. Once per long rest, as an action, slam the head of this maul into the ground and create a thunderous boom that emits from around the wielder in a 15-foot radius. All, friend and foe alike, within this radius must make a con save equal to 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Said friend and foe.
Yep. Failing the save results in 3d10 thunder damage and the deafened condition for 1 turn.
That's
A
nice.
successful save results in half damage and not deafened. Now, it also has an exalted state. Upon reaching character level 15 and taking 1 level in cleric, devoting yourself to Shemlo, the weapon becomes exalted. Still acts as a +1 weapon, but it gains the following. Thunderous Blow may now be used 2 times per long rest, and it gains the ability Chosen of Shenlo. The wielder may use an ability similar to that of the Divine Intervention class ability of a cleric equal to their current character level. However, this ability is slightly different. If you spend 2 hours meditating with the weapon in a thunderstorm, then you can attempt to call upon an avatar of Shemlo to assist you in battle. Okay. The meditation is called the synchronization. Unlike Divine Intervention, you can only get the assistance of the avatar as a temporary combatant It cannot ask for miracles, etc. The Avatar will choose how best to assist the party in battle and act on its own initiative. It remains for 1 minute and 1 minute only. In order to summon it, the wielder spends an action and then rolls a percentile dice and must get a number on the die equal to or less than twice their character level. If the attempt fails, they can attempt again after a long rest. They do not lose the synchronization unless the attempt is successful. So you still have it available for your next attempt. However, if the attempt is successful, you cannot attempt again for another 14 days, and you have to have synchronized it once again by 2 hours spent meditating in a thunderstorm.
Question: the percentile die was half of my level, or above half?
No, it has to be below twice your character level.
I think you can add a custom item on D&D Beyond and write all that in the description.
I already have.
Oh, cool.
Oh, sweet. So I don't have to
I'm
write this
adding
down.
it right now.
I was about to say, man, that is a lot to remember.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna remember any of this.
You now
Well, that
have
sucks.
you now have that weapon, and I have just equipped it in your
Yeah, but it
inventory.
gets a stronger thunder attack than
I wanted to read it
have.
out so you knew what it could do, as well as so anyone watching can
Let
see
me
what
get
it
out of my
does.
character sheet and reopen it.
Yeah, you probably have to like refresh, but you should see Ajax's Wrath on there. On the wall.
It's not on here.
Should be. I just put it on there.
Let me close the whole app and reopen it.
Crack.
Yeah, and it says like if you read it, I have to change how it's written, but it says the attunement is 1 level in cleric. The attunement is actually what you just did. To get to the exalted level is the 1 level in cleric and 15th level.
I don't know if it's the app being weird, but I don't.
It'll probably show up later. It could just take some time. But I'm looking at it right now in your sheet. So
Okay, maybe.
It'll show up eventually.
it'll show up eventually.
Okay.
You'll let you reload everything.
I'm gonna restart. That's fine.
Is there a limit to the
Ajax
number
has
of
your
classes
back from
we
the
can
grave,
class
boy.
into?
Once you hit 10th level,
Yeah,
Oh,
you can start
you can
multi-classing.
start multi-classing, and you can take several
At
different
10th
classes.
So
or
I
11th
can-
level.
Basically, your 11th level can be
Okay.
your first multi-class level.
Got it.
Which means 11 through 20 can all be 1 level of each different class.
You could do that.
Hell
I
no!
don't think we're reaching 20.
You could.
Maybe?
We'll see.
There is a god.
Yeah, it's me.
All right, so that is what happens with you. Okay,
Ajax's spirit.
You-
is
you
motivated by
realize-
spite.
you've probably been laying there for quite a bit. It seems
Yeah.
a decent amount later. It's probably been a couple hours. In fact, it's probably been a couple hours since you were laying there, because you were there for almost 2 hours in the storm itself, meditating before all of this happened. You figure the darkness might not just be the remnants of the storm, but this is probably, best you can figure, 8, 9 o'clock at night already.
To the honey pot I go,
Okay,
with a big grin on my face.
okay. Leon,
Did you try to fuck eat
Yes.
us?
we're hopping back to you for a second.
Yay!
So, you've been patiently waiting. Your invisibility slowly ticking by. But eventually, about 30 minutes of listening, and about 30 minutes into your second cast of invisibility, you,
You blew my cover!
Sorry!
a few times again having to kind of duck behind the door as the servant pops in and out of the kitchen a few times. Eventually, the family removes themselves from the dinner table, and it seems, at the very least, the children may be retiring for the evening to go to bed, or at least into their rooms. And you hear Councilman Antoinette and what you assume is her husband based on the voice leave the dining room. The servant begins to tidy up in the dining room a bit, and every once in a while back in the kitchen, bring plates and things like that back and forth, and starts cleaning up. doesn't seem to take any notice of you. You're not making any loud noises. You're still invisible. She's unaware of your presence completely. What do you do?
So he's currently in the kitchen?
You are still in the kitchen.
No, she.
She is currently in the kitchen. She seems to be at a large wash basin, and she is scrubbing dishes that she has brought in from the dining room.
So she's turned away from the
She's
door
not
that I-
facing the dining room.
Okay.
Someone's in the kitchen.
Someone's
It's
in the
Liam.
kitchen, I know.
So I'm gonna try to sneak through that door then.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. With advantage.
That's not right there. 19.
Yeah, she has no clue. Bitch. You, like a whisper, slip through into the dining room. In there, you see, it's a fairly well-appointed dining room. A nice big oak table. There is what looks like a beautifully hand-stitched table runner with very lace designs on the edges covering the table. All the dishes have been removed. There's a few lanterns placed on kind of some, side table against the wall that illuminate the room. And there is a chandelier overhead that as well is lit. Looking out from the dining room into the rest of the house, what you see is the dining room opens up towards a main entry foyer. It is fairly large, very similar
To
what you saw at the governess's house, a very large, kind of a grand foyer with a staircase leading up. All the way across on the other side, you see another set of double doors that are open with a fireplace in them. You're pretty sure that's some kind of, bless you, sitting room or study.
Bless you.
And you can see sitting in chairs that are on opposite ends of the fireplace, angled towards it slightly. You see the figure of the councilman, Antoinette, and a fairly large man sitting in the chair opposite her. She seems to have a book in her hands. He has a nice cup in his, taking sips of what looks like wine. You assume, from this distance, it's probably a good 60 feet away. But, it's based on the shape of the glass and the coloration, you think wine.
Alright.
Light emits from the fireplace with a nice roaring, warm fire. And other than that, the foyer itself is lit, but it seems like it is dimmed for night. Some of the main chandelier hanging in the foyer seems to have been put out, and it is only a few lanterns here and there, a few, that are set on a couple key tables positioned around the perimeter of this foyer that give it any light. And there is the beginning of a staircase, the bottom of it, that you can see through the doors that are open from the dining room. That leads up to the second floor.
Alright, so I'm gonna begin making my way up the staircase, and I do have a question for you that goes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
So far this place has seemed very similar to the governess's, estate.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to recall which room in the governess's estate, along that upper hallway that I can assume exists, was the office and then the master bedroom?
The master bedroom in the governess's estate, when you went up the stairs, if you turn to the left along the upper kind of railing hallway, I guess you would call it a little bit of a balcony, where it kind of overlooks the main foyer. If you went down that, there were two doors, the one on the end and then the one on the wall there. The one on the end, to the left, in the governor's estate, was the master bedroom.
Alright.
And then the one before that, on the wall, was a study. Going to the right, in the governor's estate, it was the one on the wall, was a very large, almost spa-like bathroom, and then to the right was a bedroom. More like akin to a guest bedroom than anything.
Right, so obviously it doesn't confirm anything, but it's the only thing I really have to go off of, so I'm going to go up the stairs and go to the left if there's like a big hallway up there.
Yeah, it's fairly wide. I mean, it's a combination of hallway and balcony because it does overlook the foyer. It is open to below there.
Mhm.
But it's probably a good 10 feet wide, plenty of space.
Alright.
You make your way down the hallway. You don't see anybody. No one's up here at this time. Give me a perception check, though.
Perception. Red die. 8.
Okay. Nothing catches your eye. You don't hear anything abnormal. You continue down. You are now next to the door into the wall. Next to you, and then ahead of you, probably another 15 feet, is another door at the end of this hall.
So it is set up fairly similarly. So I'm gonna repeat what I've been doing with the other doors. You know.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Just flat, right?
Yep.
That is 29.
Okay.
We
So
love
you're doing
expertise.
the door in the wall. Okay, so you begin to test the doorknob. It is unlocked. You begin slowly opening up and peek in as this door opens inward.
Mhm.
And as you look in, there's a lantern light lit. And you see 2 children's beds. And sitting on one of them is a relatively young child. You're guessing perhaps adolescent, you know, just before their teenage years, human. Sitting up, looking through a book, cross-legged on their bed. The other one, a little bit younger, is laying in the other bed. Seems to be listening intently, where now, with the door open, you can hear the older child seems to be reading a story to their younger sibling. They don't notice the door.
Slowly close that.
Okay.
You
They
guys
would
have
look up at the book like, what the fuck, as the door closes by itself.
It's haunted!
And I'm gonna head to the door at the end of the hallway.
Okay. As you head down there, give me another stealth check to open that door.
Alright. Wookie dookie spooky dookie.
42.
12.
Okay.
That's a
Minus
little off.
7.
Give or
As
take.
you open this one, it creaks a little bit. You're like, oh shit, maybe I didn't. I need to pay more attention. You thought you were getting used to these. Maybe you're not as comfortable with them as you thought. But you do get the
That
door.
was the door.
Yeah.
I'm at like 9 hiccups today.
There was
It's
a
weird.
bike horn right next to the door.
It
As it
wasn't-
drags into the ground.
It wasn't super loud, but it did creak a little bit.
Mhm.
You do get the door open, and you see there is a single lamp lit. Looks to be on a nightstand. The room is empty of people. You see a large double bed,
Alright.
a dresser,
Somewhere.
a nightstand on either side of the bed.
Found a room.
There is a vanity in the corner of the room, a couple large armoires, a fancy rug, and another fireplace in this room that currently is mostly embers, but has still a few little flames that are also adding a little bit of illumination to the room. There is also a small desk in one corner with a chair. And that is basically what you see.
So with that, like I did with the guest bedroom downstairs, the staff room, I'm going to search, and just to make it clear again, I'm looking for anything regarding the route, and like guard positioning and all that kind of stuff. Again, I say blackmail, but I try to say it lightly because it's not as though I want bad things to come to these people. It's that I want to have a backup plan in case I need it.
You want a jar of dirt.
Exactly. This guy gets it.
A folder labeled route info
Thank
and
you for
guard,
getting that right.
route and guard info.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily expect to find anything. And the last thing, of course, any like incriminating evidence, like if they're tied to it. But I don't expect necessarily to find anything at all. But that's what I'm here to do. You know, figure out if anything is connected.
Alright, so give me an investigation check.
All right, baby. We're gonna roll the red dice.
Alright.
That's a 10.
Okay. As you're looking through, you do find in there And you're looking through the desk, you said?
I'm just
Or
roaming
in general?
around the room.
Okay. As you're going through, you do find in the desk itself, in one of the drawers, as you open them up, there's lots of paperwork. You start kind of going through it, rummaging around, taking a little bit of time to look through it, but not too long. Kind of glancing and skimming it to see if anything of note stands out from it. You do notice some of it deals with finances of the city itself, procuring finances in particular. One thing that catches your eyes is in procuring finances as per the Count's orders to assist in making sure that his program initiative that he has set forth to place basically a combination of soup kitchens / apprenticeship shops
In Eastgate.
in Eastgate. It looks like this councilwoman is Councilman Antoinette, at least, is very in on this initiative. She's working very hard on it, and she might be one of the key members that is helping with this program.
I do have a question real
Mhm.
quick. So far everything seems to be in order and everything, so it's like,
Mhm.
oh, this is not blatantly bad, but is there anything that... Bless you. Your hiccup. Is there anything that Leon might find that he's like, oh, well, this isn't technically wrong, but I don't agree with it? Like, for example, since I'm looking through paperwork, I might be like, okay, well, see, I see the funding is going here when it could much better be purposed here. Stuff like that, you know.
Thus far, nothing
in
that you
particular.
notice.
Okay.
The only other thing that you do notice is you do find, as you're kind of looking through the dresser drawers, there's clearly one side is her clothes and one side is his clothes. And they also do have some armoires that you notice. It's more like, a his and hers thing. She's got one, he's got another. But as you're going through the dresser, in the side with her clothes, as you're going through the drawers, tucked in a corner, underneath some of her more delicate things, is a small diary.
Every self-respecting adult has a diary filled with incriminating evidence.
Daniel, why are you gonna talk about
Well,
that?
I'm going to yoink that real quick and set myself up against the wall, like, sort of, if this is the door opening in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at examples here. Okay, door going in here, I want to be, like, against the wall. I don't want them to see a floating book.
No, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Ooh.
Haunted!
So you're going to start looking through it?
Yeah.
How long are you going to spend doing that?
Well, how long do I have left on this current invisibility?
Probably still about 20 minutes.
I'd imagine since I'm in the room here, and I'm like behind walls and stuff, I probably could fairly easily get off a stealthy recast, right?
Your face is good.
Alright. Damn, this journal got some good material! Sheesh!
Just folds out.
Affairs?
The diary.
Yeah, so I'm gonna recast
Whoa.
invisibility such that I have
Another hour.
another hour. And I'm gonna be looking through this journal, not like reading every single word, like, oh, no, but not like super skimming. And I'm also gonna be listening to hear footsteps and all that.
Okay.
My man's
Give me
doing
another
research.
investigation check, and then give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Broke
Alright.
into her house, found nothing
Investigation.
incriminating, and then read her diary.
Alright, that's a 10 in
I'm
investigation.
still convinced this woman is
And
evil.
perception with disadvantage?
Yes.
I
Are
don't
we
think
the
she's
bad
evil at
guys?
all. I'm gonna be honest.
Am I the villain?
Welcome to my life.
Have I stooped?
Alright, 19 for perception.
Okay.
Ooh. On that disadvantage.
As you're looking through,
Roll a morality check.
yeah, as you're looking through,
I'm morals as well.
you find yourself engrossed in trying to decipher if there's anything in here. Before you know it, about 30 minutes have gone by, but you get through pretty much the entire thing as far as what you figure might be important information. What you get from it, there's a lot of personal thoughts, some things that you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not reading that.
I don't care.
Maybe just a
I
peek.
lusted after the other
Yes.
council.
But one thing does stand out to you that's relatively recent. About 4 weeks ago, so just over half a month in Atavar time, she is writing something about a Councilman Batias.
How do you spell that?
Batias.
Well, what is?
Batias. Okay.
Apparently, she is concerned because he seems to be pushing some initiatives that are counter to what the Count has been doing. And she had heard some kind of rumors. Something about dealing with shipping.
Ooh.
And dealing with a family that is based out of Ravensboro.
Family is based.
Shipping.
Based AF.
Dealing
Not
with a family.
Very odd.
Alright, so I did want to ask, with that in mind, when Leon reads about a family based out of Ravensboro, it's obviously very vague, but does that ring a bell even in the slightest to him?
Hold on, I'm looking. I have to find this in your...
Well, you could.
I don't think you ever finished your backstory, though, is the problem.
Not entirely, because I remember
That's really.
filling you in on the rest.
You fiend!
And you said that was
But
fine.
I don't remember, because I cannot remember the name.
I mean, I know of the certain individual we talk about.
Is it me?
He who must not be named.
You mean Squidward?
You see in there, I cannot remember. You may have it written down somewhere that I don't have. And I'm going to have to look it
the
up.
guy.
But you see a name.
Yeah.
The name, when they say a certain family, the name is
The name is what?
the name is listed in there.
Uh-huh.
That name is the family that you were investigating in Ravensboro that then hired the Nightingale to deal with you.
Family is the one I was investigating that hired. I love
At least you assumed they were the ones that did it because you were investigating them.
Yeah. Alright.
I will have to look up the name, or I have to look really hard through the notes because I don't have your full backstory, and I thought we had discussed it. And I figured you'd put it in there, but we never actually got the full copy.
Then that's my bad.
That's all right. We'll get that figured out.
Alright.
But it is that noble family's name. You recognize it clearly.
Oh boy.
And what she writes in that diary is her worries about attempting to investigate Batias because he has many, many ties and many that are loyal to him. He is a
What is one
powerful
so many times?
councilman. One of the most long-standing ones. And in effect, from what you've kind of gathered from some investigation on the inner workings of the city, he was the one that potentially could have been the Count if the current Count hadn't been elected 10 years ago and kept getting elected. So he's kind of one of the most senior and was definitely in line for the position, but got beat out by some young upstart, so to speak, that had ideas about changing things, that spoke to the people, and really got them on board. But he is very well connected, and her worries in her diary about actually reaching out and trying to investigate him because she's worried about her children and her husband. And poking too deep into this, what could happen?
Alright. Well, with that, I'm assuming that's pretty much like towards the end of the journal, and then after that, there's like not much really.
Yeah, that's like I said, that is about 4 weeks ago. There are entries over the last 4 weeks beyond that. Most of them are benign or, more personal in nature, not so much work related.
Right.
So that's really the major thing you pull out of that information.
With that, I shoved the journal back into the dresser. Right, it was dresser, right?
Yep. And as you do that, with that 19 perception, you hear footsteps coming down the hall.
Jump out the window, jump out the window.
Is there a window?
Crash
Yes,
through it.
there's 2 windows. The shades are both
Aren't you
drawn on them.
indivisible?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna stay inside a room as they go to sleep and just be like,
Honk shoe,
There
honk
are
What
there
if
are
they
2
talk
windows.
incriminating evidence in their sleep? Now
You better-
you'll never know.
You better
Look.
watch. You're already like shoulder deep in this. You
I-
better-
as you were saying?
There are 2 windows. The shades are both drawn on them already.
So does that mean they're in or they're like open?
No, that means the shades are closed. So,
Okay.
like the curtains, like you've got curtains here
I know
in this
how
window.
curtains work.
It's
And
they're,
that
they're
says
closed.
crash through the window.
Yeah. So you can't see out the windows,
Okay.
but there are 2 windows. You can clearly tell just based on those
Well,
big ass
I-
curtains. That's got to be a window.
I want to quickly rush over to one of the windows, like just peek through the shades, like as fast as I can, see is there like a balcony on the other side or something like that.
As you rush to the nearest one, you pull the curtains aside. It's actually not a window. It's double glass doors that open up onto a balcony.
Okay, going through those.
Okay? Give me a stealth check.
Come on, baby.
Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies.
1
1 pound fish.
That is a 15 plus whatever your stealth is.
25, baby.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
So, yes,
Come on, lady.
you manage to, as you push the curtains aside, figure out, okay, here's the balcony. You open it, you kind of slip through, and just as you let the curtains fall back into place and the door close, you see the door open just before those curtains close and obscure your vision.
Right.
You are now on the balcony
I'm gonna just. Whoop.
without an issue.
Just fucking hits the ground. Boosh! Just huge thud.
Spider-Man this shit? Oh!
And on a stack of what is the inflatable chicken, like the super loud ones and bike horns.
Yeah.
I go, ah!
Never let it be said I do not get shit done.
Some guy with a trumpet.
The tuba.
Yeah.
Stop, it's
glandular. I get paid by the hour, man.
With that, I'm going to sneak my way out of eggnog.
Yeah.
Eggnog.
Yes, eggnog.
And I think that's a good point for me to leave off and go to whoever's
And
next.
return back to
The honeypot, I
Honeypot?
see? Yeah.
Or do you want to go
Split the party more.
Well,
Get
it's-
party together.
It's currently raining
Fuck our
decently heavy, right?
plans.
Yes.
And also it's getting
I'm
late.
glad we
Yeah.
stretched our
So, yeah, I'll head back to
5-minute
the-
conversation into
Because
All right.
I do
Thank
have
you.
somewhere I'd like to
Several
go, but that would be the next
the
day.
entire day.
Back to you two. So, you were having your nice conversation.
Stared awkwardly at each other for 7 hours.
No,
to catch
no,
the
no.
time
You,
back up.
you were
We're playing cards.
you probably due to the walk to get over there, and then sitting down, having some drink, having some conversation. By the time you've kind of had your fill, it's only about 3 o'clock for you guys at this time. You are up in the balcony of the tavern section of the Freelance Association. What do you do at this point? You've noticed that one of the two, besides D, one of the 2 others that were up there, has wandered off the balcony, back down,
Oh, they
perhaps
just
to go to the
balcony.
D has no significance to my character as of now.
No,
He is
no.
You never met
Not
her.
a
She
clue
is-
who she is.
She is just continuing to drink.
Boy, that lady over there sure likes drinking.
She's not like
must
pounding.
be
She's not
thirsty.
pounding them and just another boom pound. But she's always does have a fresh drink.
Someone should tell
And
her
she's
that wine is
nursing
much
it,
more hydrated.
But she's also just kind of sitting there, staring off into space and enjoying her drink. The other one, that one seems to
She with
have been
someone?
passed out.
Or
No.
different table.
Different table. They're separated. But that one, if you actually look over there, they seem to have passed out on the table. Like they're like down,
He must
and their
be
drink
tired.
is just right there.
That's right. I got a drink. I'm gonna. How was it? Good? Was it a good drink?
I mean,
My character's
It
not
depends.
super
Have you
used
had
to
alcohol before?
not a lot. He probably has had it, just not.
there was
ton.
a very
It was-
small amount of alcohol in
It was
it.
probably very strong to him.
Yeah, it may have been.
He's
But
like,
It definitely
me every time you go-
had a strong flavor of grass, as the bartender said,
Such grass.
wheat
Delish.
grass.
it's like a smoothie.
Yeah, and it kind of
It's like
was.
a health drink with
A
booze in it.
boozy.
Yeah, it kind of was a little bit like a smoothie, except not really cold, but it was.
Ugh, warm grass.
Yeah, no, it
Warm
wasn't. It
grass.
wasn't. It wasn't warm. It wasn't cold. I'm like, it wasn't like super cold, but it was. It was what it was, and to be honest, he thought it was okay. He didn't think it was anything to write home about, but it was okay.
Well, considering riding home costed me 20 gold, I most certainly won't
Yeah.
be riding home about this.
Mhm.
But it was pretty decent. Not bad. Thank you for getting me that drink, friend.
No, that's no problem. Seems we're going to be waiting quite a while for the rest of the group to get here.
I wonder how their activities are going.
Well, why not in the meantime? Let's check out the jobs and see what's available.
Sure.
Slide to the left. Take it back down.
Side to the
One
right.
hop this
Criss
time.
A little more.
cross.
Wow.
little bit more.
Why did I
I've
think I
never
was
One
gone
hop
on
this
a-
time.
a
One more.
mission like that before. That could be
You too, Danny.
fun.
Yeah, that's a little better. You're both more in frame.
I guess we'll go down.
Now
to the,
everybody
quest board.
clap your hands.
No one on rhythm.
Yep.
The guy passed out of the
It's
bar, wakes up
copyright
like.
if we do that.
Yep.
I don't think a rhythm is copyrightable. I guess we'll go down and talk to, or I don't think we need to talk to Aiden. We can just look at the fucking quest board.
All right.
I'll follow him because I don't know where it is.
Okay. As you go to the quest board, just as before, you see there are still two that are up there. Nothing new besides them has been added. There is one that says to contact Captain Hubbard about supplying help, hands/security for a sea voyage.
They want hands.
There is also a posting from a Lord Falcon requesting help on a trophy hunt.
That one sounds way fucking cooler.
I don't know if I agree with just hunting animals as a trophy, but
Well,
if that's what the group wants, then I suppose I'm.
well, Patch, think about it this way. It may be a trophy hunt, but it likely isn't a typical animal.
That doesn't that make it worse?
Well, what if I were to tell you it's like a young red dragon or some
I think
aberration?
all
of the
animals
night?
have a right to live.
We have a fucking.
Even if they're not of this world.
A druid,
Free hugger.
Even if they're not of this
You don't
world,
get your
or
goddamn
unless they're
Yeah,
inherently
you know
evil,
what?
I guess. Even that red dragon, I guess they're kind of bad, but
They're evil.
a baby,
oh, I didn't say baby.
all young,
Yeah, young, like a few 100 years old.
a few hundred.
You're a dragon ecology, you need some
I s-
work.
I guess so. Not a lot of dragons where I'm from, I suppose. Or maybe there is. I don't know.
Side eyes the
I-
DM.
I know the southern part of your continent is known for a few dragons.
Oh, well, that is news to me. I guess I'm not a...
Well, that's dwarf country. That's why they hid in the mountains.
Ah, upon looking at the map in front of me, that actually makes sense.
Hey, what's that? It's nice.
I also knew that, having lived there.
Heads again. Is there anything on the other side? Or-
But if it is causing harm and whatnot, I suppose it needs to be done.
Would it be wrong of us to talk to Lord Falcone before accepting the quest? Or is that totally on the table to determine whether we want to actually help him
Are
with
you
that?
asking me or are you asking?
I guess I was more asking DM if that would be general knowledge if that's tactful or not.
You would know that typically what happens is that you accept the quest and then you have the meeting.
Okay.
However, that doesn't necessarily mean that that is always the case. But typically, clients don't like to have interviews over and over and over again from adventurers of what their job entails. They want someone to take their job, and then they'll give them the specifics of it in order to get the job done. And it is the guild's responsibility to post the job, and someone that is willing to say, hey, you know what? Based on this information, I'll take the job for the coin that they're offering. We'll deal with specifics when we get there. But again, it's not always followed that way. There are exceptions.
Just for clarity, he's not a pacifist. It's just killing for the sake of killing doesn't sit well with with me. If they're putting it to you, I mean, trophy, I'm not sure that qualifies as a good use, but if they're putting the rest of it to use, feeding people or whatever it is, or it's causing harm or something, I don't see any problem with putting it down.
That's something else we could also talk to the client about before. We can maybe see if Aiden knows any particulars of the kind of animal he's trying to hunt.
That is perfectly fair.
We go to Aiden for further details, see if he knows anything.
Okay. You find Aiden at his usual post. Says, the Blue Devils with your provisional new party member.
Yes.
I wave at him.
Aiden,
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have
Have I?
You have.
Yeah, I send you
Nice
up.
to see you again, friend.
And once again, my condolences for your loss.
thank you.
The smile
prior-
disappears.
Your prior teammate
Ah, yes.
was a
Robin.
enjoyable, jovial fellow.
You're certainly a warm soul.
Yes, indeed.
I own his soul now.
Such is the life that we undertake. Loss is a distinct possibility. So, how can I help you?
We were wondering if you knew any of the particulars about a particular job request on the board.
Which one?
The one for the trophy hunt for Lord Falcone.
Oh, Lord Falcone. Yes. I believe he was interested in heading out to try to find quite a strange creature to add to his collection. Let me see. I cannot remember what he called it, but it is some type of aberration.
Okay. We're questioning ethics here and determining whether the quest was a good fit for us.
Oh.
Aberration, is that what? That's not a creature or something. That's a.
Oh, it. Well,
is that like a?
it
They're like,
is
kind
a-
of like aliens, essentially.
Okay.
It is
like
a-
an Avalon, sorry.
It is a
Oh, okay.
creature, I guess you could say. I cannot remember exactly the name. That, in fact, he may not have said that name to us.
Is it harmful?
Aberrations typically are not friendly.
Fair enough. I mean, if it's a cause of trouble, I have no problem helping.
It has
And-
the potential, sir.
And Lord Falcone, I will say, has had many requests from us in the past. I won't say all have been successful hunts. However, I do know that he is one that his morals are good. He doesn't hunt just for the sake of the trophy, but that is one of his concerns.
I think it's worth looking into then. I don't want to be the stick in the mud here.
No stick in the mud in my book. We'll have to consult with the rest of the party, but we'll likely end up taking it on. Thank you, Abe.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Alright, well, I guess we just wait for the rest of the party to show up so we can talk about it.
Are you going to stay here? Or are you
Oh,
heading
bro,
back
that's
to the honey pot?
interesting. You said you were meeting at the honey pot. I'm never showing up.
You're still there.
No, that's interesting. I said we'd meet at the guild.
Oh,
Oh, did you?
whoops.
Well, if
I
that's-
heard
if
honey
that's,
pot.
If that's the case, I would go where he told
Yeah,
us to
if you
be.
said the guild, then you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
would go
if
to-
you
I
said
would go
guild,
to the
I'd
guild.
eventually move
Okay.
there, but I thought we said honey pot.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't.
Which is why I put that picture on the screen, because I thought you were all going to the honey pot. Because this,
Oh, this is the honey pot?
this is.
Way to fuck it up. You
Can we
built
see
a
it
map
anyway?
and
This
everything,
is
and you're
the
like,
honey pot.
no,
Alright.
let's
It
go
is
to
not.
the
It
guild.
is not 100%
Look at that.
finished.
That's so cool.
I tell you what, if he has the honey pot map up, we'll go to the honey pot.
It is not
Thank
100%
God.
finished, but this is indeed the honey pot inn. Eventually, there will
Honey
be. We're going to try to figure out a way to draw a honey pot on here, right there, and we are not done finishing outfitting the upper floors completely. And this windmill, we may change the things, but that's how they grind flour to make fresh baked
That's
honey bread.
creative.
So yeah, it's
Reminds me of Minecraft.
Yeah.
So we are meeting at the honey pot then.
Sure, if he's
We are
if,
now.
If he's got this nice thing to show the fucking viewers, I'm all about it.
All right.
And look how
Original
nice it
plan,
is.
honey pot.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, so I'm not the only one who thought the plan was honey pot.
all right.
That's
So
just our usual
You
spot.
were gonna go there
That's why
anyway.
it-
I
It
was
is
already
the usual
there,
spot, but
but,
it wasn't
you know.
the plan this time.
Yeah,
We were
and
gonna
this
talk
is-
about the quest.
this is essentially the new party rest screen, since you guys are basically based out of the honey pot. So
Based?
I knew you.
Damn right.
You based, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, I got based.
All right. So
Maybe based, but I am sauced.
But are you
Loaded with
cringe?
the sauce?
I'm
Quirked up white boy.
But does he bust it down sexual style?
Yeah, busted it down sexual style.
Oh, you know
Is
it.
he goaded with the sauce?
On God, on God?
so
No,
Breaking
I-
news.
I did like
a
a
quirked up
karaoke
white boy
session
busted
here.
down sexual style.
Yeah.
Is he
Where
going
is-
with the sauce?
I do
Find
need
out
to know where the stage
Now
is.
on Channel 7 News.
I'm required to know where the stage is.
a stage.
I performed karaoke at this bar, or
You
was I
have,
just on
but it's
top
not
of
re-
the bar?
It was
It's not
probably
really-
just by the fireplace.
No, I was on
It
top
is-
of the bar.
It is
I'll
basically
take
by
it.
the fireplace.
Damn.
Jason,
There's
I
not
know it's
really a
supposed to be
stage.
embarrassing, but the honey pot is actually upside down.
For you.
Well, our
He goes,
perspective is only
"Shit."
right.
There you
My
happy?
character must be Australian.
You happy now?
It's still upside
It's
down.
still upside down.
Still
but
upside down, mate.
Mhm.
It's fine. I was
See,
only
welcome
poking fun.
to my life when I was over there.
The joke opportunity was there, so I had to take it.
There, how's that?
That is perfect. Up, down, but you can have it whatever way you want. It doesn't.
Alright then, fine, fuck you.
Just like faces it completely towards the sky. None of you gonna see anything.
Ha, fuckers.
Zoomed in on a one.
I want to go
candle.
here.
You want to go into the void?
Yeah.
Oh, is this Jonathan's room?
That's where Ajax is.
Nope.
I feel like it's Jonathan's room.
No, Jonathan gets the crappy little bunk in the back.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, he's
Even
in a
better.
You were fucking in a closet.
Perfect.
No, I think they were
How
renting out
romantic.
my room.
Oh no. You
I
walk
aim
into
to
your room,
break
you
your
see your
heart.
sheets all screwed up. You're like,
Takes a black light to it.
no,
I
don't.
wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
It's gonna glow so
I
much.
have this
Just
stupid
glows
little
white.
thing here. It's making it hard
Like
to...
a new bed, please.
Oh, yeah?
Take
Oh,
it.
yeah, but they could have said. I got it.
What?
Stop
That's
that.
annoying.
I'm turned on in a very frustrating manner. Stop.
Stop. Get some help.
I had a boner.
I regret it. For the first time in my life, I regret it.
Alright, but this is the honey pot inn. That is the first
The
floor.
walls are
It's so
vanishing.
nice.
There we go.
Bro, what do I like?
We shall meet there. Thus forth.
This place is huge.
That's what you said. It's like
This
the
is
size of an ant.
the second floor. This is where most of the rooms are.
this
The
economy?
majority of the rooms up here.
It did
Now, for you
At
guys
this
to
point, I feel
know,
like we should buy a room.
this up here. Okay, this is the third floor. On the third floor, this is where they have storage space / attic space, as well as their grinding mill, and then their premium rooms, where they have one which is more of a like family, small family, or just like VIP room, and then over here, this one is more of a larger group room.
Infantry party room.
That's the
Yes.
orgy room, if you will.
Yes.
No, thank
There are.
you.
All the
It
beds
has.
would be pushed
It
together.
actually has its
Look at
own.
the toilet.
It has its own private
It's got a toilet.
bathroom facility.
It's an in-house, not an outhouse.
It has.
It's got to smell so
It
bad.
has
that
a.
room.
That's a D100 roll.
It has its own fireplace, and it does have 5 beds as well as storage for your equipment. This one again is more for like a luxury
One with the double numbers
for
or with the
one,
single numbers?
one person or a couple. And then
Yes,
up
roll
here,
both
this
those
one isn't
together.
filled out. This is like the
That
owner's suite, which has not been filled out.
Hey, that's only 3 off.
So, Jason,
We haven't unlocked it
on the
yet.
third floor, that VIP suite,
Mm-hmm.
you know what that reminds me of?
Hmm.
You remember when you got fucked by a lizard in Divinity?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
That's the room.
Inspiration.
Sabine got
That's
fucked by
hot.
Lizard in Divinity in this room,
Inspiration.
basically.
You got tongued by a lizard
Yeah.
real hard.
Ew.
But-
Hey, you
Good,
liked it.
long lizard
This-
tongue.
This room would be
Must
one
go
that
get
if you
made.
guys wanted a common room that you all shared,
No.
this would be the
DM is
pretty
telling
much
us to
the
choose
option
this
that you
room.
had available
I
there.
understand that.
Or
but
if you
yeah.
wanted individual rooms, there are plenty on the second
I
Individual
don't
floor.
want to share any
Rooms,
rooms
All
that
I
Mercy is
know
part of.
is I have never paid for a room once, and I don't plan to
Oh,
start.
you pay for it, just not in a normal way.
Not in money.
With segs, you.
And then down
I
here,
roll, I love that.
You did the sex too, sir.
and
Yeah,
then down
but-
here is the main floor that has the family's own living quarters, the kitchen, the bar, the main dining room where they do have comfortable, secluded booths, and then the bathroom facility for all. And they do have this leads out into the back alley back there, and these are the stairs going out.
Where's John?
And then they do have some outdoor seating.
We get it. You're with Jonathan.
I need to know where the room.
You're screwing in the outhouse. How about that?
I don't know.
Ew.
Maybe
No,
but the
basically
lowest
gross.
to the low.
Basically, you guys, if you are doing stuff, you're in that
Oh
room.
shit! We gave him a bedroom.
Yep.
Solid.
It's not very. There's not
But hey,
much
it's a
to it.
step up that I thought we had.
There's not much to it.
That's because they don't have that many guests.
No, I just thought it was like behind the kitchen.
No, there's not much to it.
Great job on that, though. God damn.
Not just me. You
Good
thank
job to everyone
Anton
who's
Spawn and Klein NF
Klein and
for working with me on this.
NF dog.
And we will get that
fun.
finished hopefully within another couple weeks when we can do another collab build stream. And then I'm actually also attempting to rebuild it in RPG stories.
Yay!
So, alright, anyway,
We
moving
arrived.
on. So you guys end up meeting in the Honey Pot Inn. And you can see they got the nice outdoor seating in case you want to sit out there and enjoy. But you end up meeting there. You guys get there. You guys are actually.
I've been
Percy is
there.
there first.
I've been there.
Percy, right around dinner time, we'll call it 7 o'clock. You eventually come out of Jonathan's bedroom and make your way down because
I gotta
Hunger.
eat. Yeah.
you two show up right about that same time. Within a few minutes.
How fortuitous.
Soaking wet.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
are.
the-
You've been
The
ringing
hood
up.
up, just like
Oh, I thought you meant me.
That too.
Probably.
walk in, hood off, and like shake the water.
God damn it, Patch.
Sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Used to traveling alone. I'm not used to having to worry about someone being in the splash zone.
They like hold up a towel next to him and fucking does it.
You two show up, like I said, within a few minutes of when Persephone has gotten a nice booth
Oh, convenient.
that she's sitting down and ordering food and drink.
I'm gonna warm up on the fire before sitting down.
Turn into a dog and then shake off.
And when you do come in and you're absolutely drenched, both of you. Alyssa is there. She's kind of running in and out of the kitchen, with food, delivering it to tables. It does look like they do have a couple other workers that they have hired. Usually it looks like for the dinner shift, the dinner rush, maybe they have for the lunch rush. Just some server type people, but she seems to also be kind of in and out of the kitchen helping out with that. But as she comes out, she sees you in particular. She doesn't know you too well yet, Patch, but she sees you, and you're just dripping wet. And she goes, "Oh dear!" And she puts down the tray that she's got on the bar, looks at Maxwell, and says, "Deal with this. I'll be back." About 2 minutes later, she comes back and she has a handful of towels, and she's like, "Here, please dry off."
Thanks, ma'am.
If you see me, I could just fucking prestidigitation that shit.
But we don't see you.
No, but I'm just trying to say.
Thank you, Alyssa.
I appreciate
Sweet
it.
as always.
Thank you.
I take off the jacket, try to let it dry in front of the fire. And
Oh yeah, and it does. You see, there are several other jackets there, and there are a couple other patrons there that also have towels that she has brought around for them.
Nice weather we're having, right?
Yes.
Who could have foreseen this?
Leon, about 20 minutes after that, you finally make your way all the way down back to the
I'm
honeypot.
probably like 2,000,000% soaked at this point.
Oh, yes. You are drenched. Same thing, when you come in, when Alyssa sees you, she fetches some towels, hands them to you,
Thank you kindly.
and you see several other, coats and cloaks and things like that kind of hung up around the fire. It looks like they have hastily affixed some nails into the wood where people can kind of hang their outerwear to allow it to get the heat of the fire and dry up.
All right.
Just sitting there shirtless, like
And as you
in front of the fire.
I mean, you could just turn into like a cat and roll up by it, man.
as you four sit down,
That's true.
you see Persephone, and the three of you sit down with her eventually. It isn't for another 40 minutes that you finally start going, "Where the fuck is Tomer?"
Haven't seen much of him, actually. He's been a busy man.
And then you've already ordered dinner, ordered drinks. The food has arrived. You've eaten. You're having a couple more drinks. And now it's almost 9 o'clock now. And finally you see a completely sopping wet and covered and caked in mud, a little bit of grass. You even see some kind of looking at his clothes and his arms hanging out of his shirt, some scorch marks. As Tomer stumbles in, looking a little bit weary.
I'm gonna prestidigitation some of that.
There you are. I was beginning to think you ran away.
Oh, I didn't run away.
Yeah, it looks like you got laid out.
Oh, it was an internal struggle, but I got what I got. I'm happy for it.
So you got what you went out to do.
Oh,
What
yeah.
did you go out to do?
I pulled a warhammer now that it looks a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
Did it change?
It did not change.
It did not change.
No. It looks exactly like it did before.
I pull it out. Well, this is my new toy. It's called Ajax's Wrath.
How fitting.
I'm sure he would be happy to hear that.
That's a cool name.
You hear very faintly in the back of your head when you say, when someone says, "I'm sure you'd be happy to hear that," you hear.
I'm just gonna think in my head, Ajax, with like a question mark on it.
You don't hear it.
It's Jimothy.
All right.
Jimothy.
Well,
Jimothy.
I'm gonna get some food and relax a little bit. I've had a rough day.
I get the feeling you've earned it.
Oh yeah.
The food and the rest. Not the rough day.
Listen, I'm just happy with what I'm just happy with what happened.
You look beat, and I push a little bit of what's left on my plate over towards him while he's waiting for food to show up for.
Thank you. See, why can't you be nice like him?
I was gonna, but it wasn't my turn to talk.
All right.
suppose
I know
should
my place.
Buy you all dinner then more often?
No, I got it.
Really, anything you ask though, I'm down.
No, I'm good. I think
Except the game part.
Literally anything you ask.
I mean, maybe
He's
the game
down.
part.
no.
Like, name your prize.
You're right.
I
It's our
swing
belief.
one way and one way only. We're not going that route right now.
Give him a few drinks.
No.
You said right now.
That's
Shut
why I
up,
like
Leon.
giving him a few
You
drinks.
gotta find something. Percy definitely replaced you.
I'm this close from trying out the new hammer ability if you don't shut up.
So your day went swimmingly. What about you, Leon?
Well, as earlier, right, I have a particular distaste for people in positions of councils and what have you. But I think now I might actually have a bit of leverage in a way to loosen Councilman Antoinette's lips.
Can I insight check that?
Go ahead.
I get a roll.
You can either persuasion or
Yeah.
deception.
That's a
And you don't
nat
have-
20.
I don't exactly know what I'm persuaded.
I don't think I
Deception
What are
can
you
do
trying?
anything.
What are you trying to
So
figure out?
specifically, wow, my brain.
Make it count. You gotta go.
The
trying
I
to figure out
know
what he means by
the
that?
intention of what he could possibly be referring to from leverage, having been a blackmailer in the past.
Okay.
Whether I know he got something a smart way or not a smart way, I guess.
Okay. You can either persuasion or deception, your choice. You don't tell us which. And if she beats you, or
Well, she
not,
got a
it's
nat
up to
20.
you.
It's a nat 20.
And
Well,
I
yeah,
have
but
to-
it's still totals.
For, I know that's what I'm, for a total of, what was I rolling?
Insight.
A total of a nat 20.
23.
Fuck.
Well, you didn't have to say what you got. You can just tell
Well,
her
it's fine.
for the future reference.
All right.
In that
I don't
kind of
know
case,
if he did one or
yeah,
the
no.
other.
In that kind of case, you can just tell her
Whatever you deem
whatever
necessary.
you deem necessary, and in the future, you don't have to say exactly what you got. You just on your honor system of, oh, she beat me. If I was lying, I now have to tell the truth.
Mhm.
If I was not lying, then I just
Yes,
say
I don't
whatever.
know whether or not he was
Well,
lying.
then what you gain from that is that I went and did something and got information.
Bro. Thought so.
I knew it.
What an interesting exchange.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like looking back for like.
Mhm.
So with that,
So
tomorrow I plan on approaching her once more, and if I'm lucky, I can catch her before she makes her way to the office and not have to set up another tedious appointment.
well, you got kicked out, didn't you?
Can we come with you this time?
I really feel like having multiple people approach a council member is threatening.
Ah, yes.
Especially
With the party
right before
again,
her
you
job.
say.
Because it's not like she's gonna let you in to sit down with
Well,
her.
that was the other part, is they never said I couldn't come back in the council. They said they would have to do a search on me first, which I'm not opposed to. I have nothing to hide.
So what is your intention with a council member? Insert name here.
Miss Antoinette?
Councilwoman.
Sure.
Well, you see, I can divulge a bit of information to all of you since you are my trusted comrades.
Thank you.
Before you begin, do you still have the vampire head?
So I was meaning to ask you about that, good sir, Father DM, sir.
Mhm.
I don't think we actually specifically went over what became of the head and the root after my meeting. You just kind of said
You
it was-
still have it.
Okay, I
Did
will
you
have
say you
both.
put it back in the bag? I remember you
I'd
saying
say it
Alright.
better just to put it back in the
Yeah,
bag.
she
'cause
would
it's-
not have wanted those to remain
She's
at
like,
all.
She
Yes,
might not have wanted the
please.
head, but I gave her the root with like the
She-
express
she-
purpose of saying investigate this, and she didn't.
She was like, get this shit out of
All
my
right, yeah,
office.
okay. Thankfully. So yeah, I show them that I still have the bag.
I'm a prestidigitation.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
because
I'm gonna
it's
put
not
it
doing so
into the
great.
bag of
What a
holding so
neat
it doesn't
skill
smell.
that is.
Yeah, it's a cleaning
Mhm.
help for sure.
The bag of severed heads.
Yes.
It begins.
I dry your fur a little bit.
Now onto
Fluffy,
this
you're
not
information. And Leon kind of lowers his voice a bit. You know, it's
Do a little
between us kind of
Wriggle
information.
uterus.
So, I found within a journal of hers that another council member, a man by the name of Matthias, has quite a bit of influence in ways that frighten her. He was technically next in line to become the Count, but the other up-and-coming Count beat him out. That being said, he has quite a bit of experience and has been part of the council for quite some time. What she's worried about is, in a nutshell, he's pushing initiatives dealing with shipping and a particular family based out of Ravensbarrow, which...
That's that big city, ain't it?
Yeah.
that is...
That you would know. Ravensbarrow is the capital city of Korstal,
I've probably only been there like twice.
if at all.
Now, I happen to have a bit of history with this family. At least, my guess is that... Let me rephrase that. That's not canon. I'm stupid.
That is canon?
The stupid part is canon. I happen to have a bit of history with this family, so I'm even more concerned with this matter now. But I intend to approach her about this, now that we know that it has to do with shipping. It most likely has to do with this route. And make it clear to her that she needs an ally in me.
So you're going to try and force her to see that connection.
Precisely. Forced is a rather harsh word, but I am...
Well, this is a harsh topic, and quite frankly, it just needs to be said outright.
Fair enough.
It's not like she wanted to take your words seriously right now anyway.
Well, actually, she didn't necessarily want to take it seriously, but I feel like I've struck a chord with her.
Well, that's good news.
So your goal is
We
to
going-
make a new bestie?
Are we going the political route?
Business partner.
Or...
Percy is secretly
Well,
jealous.
I mean, we've been chasing multiple avenues. I mean, if Leon wants to continue working his angle, then press forward with the council, then that's fine by me.
Well, my question is this. If he gets in good enough, are we going to go investigate in Ravensbarrow?
I don't think we need to be going up to Ravensbarrow now. We can't just abandon all these people here.
No, not now. I'm talking about once we handle what we have here, and whatever finishes here leads more to Ravensbarrow. I'm assuming we're going there next, is what I'm trying to say.
Possibly.
We could be going there next,
Did I
but
mishear? Do we have a direct link to Ravens? I may have missed that.
No, based off his information.
Okay.
There's a family in Ravensbarrow who is linked to themselves to
Oh,
this
okay,
now.
I got
he
you.
has
Yeah,
linked
his-
himself to Matthias, who is dealing in shipping stuff, which, in my mind, I've pretty much confirmed. Root stuff. So, to which I say,
Leon,
yeah,
give me an intelligence check.
okie dokie.
Big brain! Big
Gather some
brain!
more
Be
info
good
before we get all the
brainer.
way there.
Well, quite frankly,
13.
Okay.
Whoa.
When you say that,
I was saying the out of character, but...
okay, never mind then.
Well, yeah,
Psych.
I want to hear it. It's in character now.
Retcon, I
Come
said
on.
that shit out loud.
All right.
No, we're here now. We're at this point. Keep her going.
I'll allow.
No,
Keep-
fuck you.
I'll
Pull the
allow.
trigger.
Keep her going, bud!
But you need to be smart about what you say.
Okay, well, I don't know the
When you
implications of things.
when you said that,
Yep.
that made you think for a second.
Whoa.
Way back to the information that you absconded with from the docks and what you learned therein. The Etruscan is based out of
Mhm.
Ravensbarrow.
I thought y'all remembered this shit.
I
remember
did,
this
that's why
shit.
I
I
asked.
knew that it came out of Ravensbarrow.
I remember this
but
shit.
I'm a little dumb.
I didn't
I
want to
figured
put
this
two
was
and
on
two
the
together.
to-do
with
I already
list.
have that
salt
written
proof.
down.
That's why I was going to say, should we go to Ravensborough's next to handle our business, which maybe,
Maybe we
might
should
be
then.
over there?
Yeah, so the line I was actually trying to get across to Tomer, though, because I found this an interesting interaction, was we could be going there next, or you mentioned finishing business up here.
What
We-
business do we really have left here, though?
We might not be able to finish business up here without going there.
I don't.
That's what I'm thinking, because what if
Right.
the demon did
Yeah.
what he needed to get done here, and now he's going to go to Ravensborough?
We don't know that.
I genuinely still don't think we are prepared to handle the demon.
I think for once I agree with Persephone.
What?
Yeah, that demon kinda
So
kicked the crap out of me.
sidetracking it to Ravensborough is not necessarily a bad idea.
So, I think the general consensus is that we don't feel like we're well endowed enough. Let him keep going with his lead.
You heard him.
No, I like
New
that
bunny.
wording.
Yeah. Continue with his
Fair
lead.
enough.
We'll do side jobs to get stronger. And whenever he can come and help, he can come with us on quest. But if we need to make some extra money and get stronger and see how Patch does in a combat situation when we're caught off guard or something, we can do his mission while he handles his stuff.
Well, speaking of jobs, yeah.
So I was gonna go ahead and bring something else up outside the job that we could do.
Okay.
Alright.
What's the plan?
You know that dwarf fellow we ran into earlier?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, kicked a dwarf's ass.
Well,
He beat
I
up a
expect
small
nothing
person.
less from you.
I'm gonna, as soon as he says
was
that,
Bruce, too.
I'm gonna
It was
whisper
less
to Leon.
exciting.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked in the first half. But after the first half, he got in there pretty well. But he was getting his shit rocked in the beginning.
He looks fine to me.
Yeah, he didn't look
You're
like that when he
welcome.
finished.
He did win, though.
That's all that matters.
Did he though?
Did he?
Have any of you heard of the Shadows?
The dwarf yielded. I assume he would.
Yeah, they're the dark things that are usually left behind, like in the sun. Like, you see that right there? That's a shadow.
Brian Larson said, nerds. I fucking love it, dude.
So I'm gonna look at.
You're right.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at you like, yeah, I know exactly what he told you. So yes.
So I wanted to ask, he says, have any of you heard anything about the shadows? Do I know anything?
Yeah,
Is there a check I can make?
I have the exact
History
same
check?
question.
Okay. Let me see. Leon
Historia.
and Persephone.
And Tomer would like to check it well if possible.
I can
I
tell
was
you my
reading what-
skills
Uh,
about
Brian
you know
Larson was
what?
saying.
Let's see.
Did you
'Cause
mention what
I-
you
Where
had
the hell did okay.
brought
and the
up?
demon.
Well, I did.
Any-
Any,
you were fine with
anyone
the
who
dwarf?
is actually proficient in history,
I am not fully proficient.
well, I mean, partial proficiency, your
Fuck.
requires.
I just
For
have
something.
advantage. Never mind.
So that counts then?
Yeah, for you.
I don't think I have.
Nope.
Persephone. Let's see here.
I just figured
You know
it's-
what? Based on your background,
Yeah, I was like, based on
And
kind of where I'm at.
based on your background, I'm gonna allow you a straight intelligence check.
Solid, I'll take it.
Can I check? Because I did deal with an underground.
This is different.
Oh, damn it.
13.
10.
Okay,
10.
you have heard whispers.
Whispers.
Message retracted. Not sure what that is. Thanks for the dice tray. Oh, hey, you got one of the dice trays at DragonCon? Awesome. Thank you so much for
Right
stopping
on.
by the booth and subscribing and grabbing yourself a dice tray. We
They're so
appreciate it.
nice.
Well, it's more like
Well, I know because we don't get those yet. We don't got those.
this
didn't
one.
get no free
Da-da-da.
stuff.
I kind of
Nice.
want. I need to get a bigger one. Let me
Oh,
know when.
nice,
Let me know if we have any extra, and I'll.
We do
We
not
got no
have
free
any
things.
more that have the TOGG Atavar Ascension logo on it, and we're not making any more of those. But I'll talk to talk to Mike about the hex trays if you want a larger hex tray, but not with the Atavar Ascension logo because those, for any of you who stopped by the booth in DragonCon and managed to pick up either a dice tray or dice bag with the Atavar Ascension logo on the TOGG Atavar Ascension logo on it, not make any more of those because if we get big, we want those to be for you in order to be collector's items.
I want to see if we can
Thanks
make,
for supporting the show.
make a custom one for my character. I'll talk.
That
Let me know.
is a possibility.
Yep. Let me know.
All right.
It might all just be solid gold.
Yellow and black one, very
Yours is going
nice.
to be the most
Featuring
expensive
guest star,
tray.
All right.
Soldier Boy.
I didn't say it was
Did-
thick gold, it's just thin bleed.
Did you say more on the top after you brought up the dwarf?
All I asked is if you all
Yeah.
have heard
Well-
about the shadows.
All right, now, Persephone, you have actually heard that name whispered
What,
once.
the shadows?
The shadows.
Okay, yeah.
Once.
What I miss?
It was whispered by one of the members of your former group.
Mhm.
They mentioned it once, and the way they said it, it was almost as if they were reliving a nightmare. They mentioned, and you, over time in the past, I mean, you were with them for a little while.
And just to clarify, they were all human-ish?
Yeah,
That's
mixture.
right. Yeah,
mixture.
Okay.
Humanoid.
No tiefling related.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But one of them, because you spent enough time with them, you got to know a little bit about them, and especially with your particular skills when it comes to deception and things like that, you were very, very good about spreading lies in the right direction or persuading in the right direction in order to tease information out of those around you, including those that you would call allies, such that, if needed, you had one up on them.
Yeah.
The particular individual in your group that mentioned the shadows that one time, you know that they had, at one point in their life, dealt with demonic forces, attempting to try to call them. And an individual showed up. Whatever they were doing to try to interact with forces from the abyss, all of it was immediately stopped by this person. And she was afraid for her life. She was only allowed to live if she promised never to even attempt such a thing again. That's all you know. Leon.
Yeah,
I
put
only
it
got
on.
10.
Leon,
Never heard of it.
you've heard rumors here and there. Some weird organization. Something from the past. Maybe not in the best of standing with people around them. Maybe they don't exist anymore. In fact, no one's really heard of them for a long time, as far as you know. As far as active anything. You're pretty sure they existed at one point, but that's it.
Alright. So then I kind of look to Gold and say, well, I've heard of them, and I know they're influential, or were, but I figured they died out by now.
That's not the case.
Hmm.
And one was here.
Give me a wisdom save.
Oh, you're not supposed to speak about it. You're not supposed to speak about Fight Club.
That was a natural 1 for a 4.
Zach, what's your passive
Your
perception?
arm.
Nice.
My passive perception is a 21.
Ooh.
Okay, you see me wince a little bit.
Your arm, where that brand was
He was
applied,
waiting for you to fuck that up.
begins to burn. You don't see anything, but you feel an intense pain in that arm. It grips you. All of you see him. It's almost like you're witnessing, for a second, a heart attack as he kind of clutches the left side of himself and grabs his arm. You take
You okay there, bro?
7 points of fire damage.
Back up. I'm a doctor.
Internally.
Grab them all. Electric.
Clear!
3d10.
You okay there, bro?
Y'all good, Gold?
Yeah, I'm great.
I'm gonna look at Gold and be like,
Just like,
hey,
put
hey,
the fire.
hey, buddy. I don't think you're supposed to talk about it.
You are my allies. You will know the truth.
Well, I already know the truth, but I remember him saying
The truth hurts.
Look,
Literally.
if it kills you, I'd rather not know.
How about we name
Well, what
him?
doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Hey, Gold, let's use another word. How about that? We'll get around the system. Use a code word.
Cucumber.
it's magic, so probably
I'm
Intel?
sure it's smart enough to know what I'm doing and what I'm not, but
Okay. What are you getting on about this for?
I'm getting at because he was here.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, the threat here is more serious than we thought, and I think we should deal with it.
So where do we start then?
pursue the avenues we currently have.
So
We
Which
have
is Ravensboro.
after we clean up what we have here,
confirm that the councilman is dirty.
I
Once
don't see how that's going to affect us at all.
Well, one, it gives us something to do to try and get stronger, because if we try and go after the head of the snake right now, I'm sure we're just going to get bit.
Well, that's why we're going to Ravensboro and not
Where the head
after
of the snake
demon.
is?
we're not
Well,
going.
we don't necessarily know that.
We're tracing shit down, not
Patch here is
hunting
right.
the demon.
Jason, are there people around us?
You guys are sitting.
I just want to make sure so that way we're not talking too loud for
Yeah,
people.
no, you guys, to be honest, would most likely be sitting in probably your favorite booth.
Corner booth. Hell yeah.
Well,
Patch here is right.
Back here, and sitting back in that area.
Yeah.
if we're gonna go on the leads that we have, I might have to go back to the horny halfling and see if I find anything else out.
I appreciate
Well,
you
we
saying I was
also
right,
have
though.
your posse
Got the
coming
right
over
idea
here.
of it.
Yeah, but
We
that gives
don't
us a
have
month
enough
to train and
information to
prepare.
make these kind of
But if we
claims.
can find more
All we
info
know is that
at the
this
horny halfling,
certainly
might as well
has
take a
ties to the
chance.
root.
Yeah.
So
Just
I
have
agree
to
with you.
if he's
bit by
gonna
bit
deal
chip
with
away.
if he's gonna deal with
I agree.
the government side of this, we can take Patch, who they don't know what he looks like, and know that he's with us.
Well, we've also got to worry about a shape-shifting demon.
Yeah, which for all we know, he could be running that horny halfling place.
Well, for all we know, he could
no,
be at that table over
no.
there.
Hear me out. He's not running the horny halfling. Every time we've seen the fucker, there's been something about him that's just
Familiar.
resonated asshole.
That's also a really good way of putting it.
I'm not saying he's the tiefling that does the announcement and
The
stuff
man in
there. I'm
charge
just saying
of
maybe
Wait,
it's
I'm
that
sorry, there's a
place that we
tiefling?
were-
is it no, it was
No.
it was a dude wearing horns or some
There's-
shit.
he's a halfling.
Whatever. I could give a shit.
A horny
I
halfling.
give a shit. I don't give any fucks. Listen, we got a good lead from there. We could go back and try to find more information there while Leon deals what he has to
I
do.
will say,
There. You're all in a weird position
So-
around the table.
Hey,
hear
we're
me
all
out.
there.
So we also have a lead from that one group that we followed out of there, which we know damn well is part of the guild.
Well, aren't they star rank adventurers?
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna go fucking take them on. I'm just saying we know they're connected somehow.
So what? We scope out the guild and wait for them to see if they fuck up.
While
no,
I get in
that's
touch
too
with
problematic.
Also, in the meantime, we did see a
Also,
job
they're
that we
mad
might
at
be able
Gold
to
and
take.
possibly me, so probably not.
So then why don't we have Tomer and Patch go in and track them down and try to get some information out of them at the guild as friends, you know, just talk it up with them.
I will say, Harlan
Wants to
sounds
phone
right.
you.
It would be Harlan's twin brother.
Definitely. I could get in on that one.
Well, if you want,
I have a
I
way
think he
in.
could get in and on
Whatever, there's a way in.
listen. If you can find a way in, it's gonna be a lot easier than us trying to do something about it. Then
Yes,
I'm okay with that.
Sleeping my way around is pretty easy.
You are a deviant.
Thank you.
Look,
You should have seen her. You should have seen her before.
You're putting yourself to good use, so if you actually can get information from Harlan, more power to you.
And maybe I can get something out of one of the girls or something. I can find someone that I can maybe train with or something, and maybe connection that way.
Maybe I can help too.
Yeah.
I think you being a new
Alright,
face
buddy.
actually gives us quite the advantage.
In the meantime, I can put my demon tracking abilities to good use.
I'm right here.
We're not talking about you.
First
Man, you
off,
are
you're
good at
devil spawn, not
It's
demon
complicated. I just trying to be funny.
Spawn. Secondly,
I will interject something here.
I'm
With it,
complicated.
In this world,
demons and devils are the same.
demons and devils are basically the same.
Okay.
We're
They're not
like-
informing
The hell-
each
We're
other
like
anymore.
besties.
No, the hells and the abyss in this world are basically adjacent.
Before time.
Like they're not really on the same
Michael.
plane, but they practically are. I mean, travel between the two is
A
as easy as
foolish
crossing state
samurai
lines,
warrior
practically.
Wielding the magic
And-
sword.
They actually
Masters of
work together and
Spinjitzu.
get along, and the bloodlines
while being
are
fundamentally,
intermixed.
yeah, while being fundamentally different, they
So
end up cooperating.
They end up cooperating, and in reality, like, when it comes to abilities that would affect a devil versus a demon, it affects them both.
Yeah, they'll come up as fiends.
Yeah, they are fiends. Period. Devil, demon, it's fiend.
Complicated, as I said.
So, I got a better idea.
That's subjective, but go on.
If you're gonna do the looking for portals and tracking it down, why don't
Wait, you can look for portals?
Yeah,
I've mentioned this
we've
before.
discussed this multiple
How do you
times.
think I found the dwarf?
How about if you
Luck.
stop thinking about the one thing you care about and focus on the whole group? Come on now.
Sir, Persephone's done literally nothing but bang for the last.
How about this?
We're doing shit.
I see this as we split up into 3 groups.
Oh,
Leon keeps his
yay.
thing. He keeps doing what he's got to do. You take either me or Patch to go with you to investigate more, or they two go try to investigate the other group.
Well, quite frankly, we also need to keep earning some cash flow. And as sad as I would hate to say this, it seems that whenever we go out on jobs, we end up running into our demon buddy.
So why don't we just take a job and see if that happens again?
On that note,
Well, I
What-
don't want to
what
leave
part
anything
of-
to chance, but
What
like,
part of we're not ready to face the asshole did we not fucking understand?
I think he
this,
finds
this is a
y'all
unique
for the sound of it.
opportunity. Outside of getting into a confrontation with him, we do need to learn his name.
I got a
Give me the map of
guess.
Kyber.
Is it
No, this one.
I see.
Ugloth? I heard that.
Say again?
Ugloth. Ugloath.
Yugoloth.
Ugloth. That makes more sense
Do
than
we
what
also
I
have
said.
the map with the zones, actually?
I don't see it. It wasn't out here.
There's that.
No.
No, there's a map of
There's a
Kyber.
map of Kyber that's got zones
Yeah.
on
Oh,
I
I
had
see.
it for a moment, I swear.
it. We'll find it later.
I'm pretty sure the Yugoloth name
Actually,
that
I
the dwarf
may
brought up
have
was the classification of demon, not necessarily the demon's true name.
I don't know, but it's something.
So,
It's something to go off of if we want to research that in the library.
do you have
I'm good at that.
a job for us to do as a group?
Not yet, but I can grab one tomorrow.
We
Weren't you
did.
at
We
the
did
guild?
see one.
Okay.
How do you feel about going hunting?
Oh, I'm ready to test out my new weapon, so let's go.
Friend info, please.
Also, does knowing the demon's name help that much if he
Yes.
keeps changing shape?
Yes.
Well,
Why?
Yes.
I mean, I'd love to learn why.
we may perhaps hold power
Family
over it.
ties and
From-
all.
Is that a
From
thing?
background knowledge, would
Wife's tales.
we know why
Fair
knowing a demon's name gives you power over them?
I would assume I would know at least. I should assume the answer was
You,
yes.
I mean, y'all know her name.
you actually, I will need
She's
an intelligence check for. Actually, no. It's going to be a wisdom save from you.
A wisdom save?
Yep.
Fuck.
Save these nuts.
That's a 17.
Okay.
Is it flat?
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
You understand that knowing a fiend's name, their true name, not necessarily the name they give, but their true name, what defines them, it prevents them from being able to hide their nature from you.
Persephone.
It
Do
does.
you think that's a real bitch?
It does not.
What is?
It doesn't mean you have any other real power over them, but if you know their true name and you invoke their true name, then their disguises will not work on you.
So
well,
we
that'd
can
be handy. So never mind. I retract my previous statement.
So yes, as I said.
Thank you for enlightening
You're
me.
welcome.
So
Gold,
Anytime.
you would also know that.
Okay.
You happen to remember that. The thought initially kind of gives you some pain in the back of your head, but you struggle through it.
Like emotional or physical?
Physical.
Thank you.
But-
bless you.
Thank you.
And the blessing causes you demonic pain.
Shit.
I'm out of level 1 spell slots now. I'm sorry. No more blessings.
So what's the game plan?
I say we go on that hunt tomorrow, but as early as I can, I'm gonna wake up and try to bug Antoinette about my proposal.
So
That's fine. While you're bugging her, we can go talk to the client.
and collect the gold. So we'll do this. While you go do that, We'll go to the guild, collect it, go talk to the guy, and then we'll meet back at the guild before we start the quest, or how are we going to get in touch with them?
Guild works.
Guild's a central location, yeah.
Alright.
Besides, I need to buy more arrows.
Okay. That works for me.
And if we're hunting, maybe stuff for a trap.
I can always
Good idea.
I can always chase it down, too. That works.
That you could.
Well, is it bedtime?
Unless we've got nothing else to discuss.
So, the plan is, wake up early, he does his thing. We meet at the guild afterwards, start the group quest together, and then go talk to the guy together.
Yeah, it sounds fine by me.
That works for me.
Okay, so you guys head to bed. Yes.
I'm going to do a quick prayer with the new hammer
Okay.
before I go to sleep.
Okay.
You collect my jacket.
Long rest?
Hmm?
Long rest?
Hold on.
You're
I'm
on.
gonna find my
I'm holding on. You're on.
Your
current
friend with
toy.
benefit.
My
You-
current toy, if you, will.
You find him no problem. In fact, you go and knock on the door to the
Let
room.
this man recharge. Jesus
No.
Christ.
You knock on the door to
Yeah,
the
an hour
room,
or two.
and
I had dinner.
Jonathan's dead.
when the door swings open, he sees you. He reaches out and he grabs you by the back of the neck, pulls you into him, dips you down, and gives you a deep kiss. Swings you around, the door slams shut. Fade to black.
La cucaracha.
For a second, I thought I was on the other side of the door when it slammed shut. I was like,
No.
what a bitch.
No. Anybody else have anything they want to do tonight besides prayer or prostitution? Either one.
I'll restring my bow and maybe get another drink.
Okay.
While
I'll sit with Gold. We had a nice day of bonding. I'll hang out with him.
Okay. All right. Eventually, sleep all finds you. You wake up the next morning. Long rest.
Please don't end here.
And as usual, breakfast is there before you. It is delicious as always. A fair selection that the Honey Pot Inn provides. Fresh honey bread with a honey butter. Again, jasmine honey, their specialty. They're exclusive. That only they provide in the city. There are also fresh eggs made to order. Bacon or sweetened bacon with a honey glaze on it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Waffles, fruit platters, several different varieties of pastry, breakfast type pastries. Obviously, Alyssa has been hard at work. But you have a beautiful spread before you. Good morning drink, hot tea, various coffees. Anything basically you wish that they have available is provided. And for you guys, a very minimal, reduced cost.
I've never paid for anything.
I won't be getting the Evermead.
I'll be paying.
I'll do it. I'll be doing the Ajax breakfast with the Evermead and some pancakes and bacon.
They keep a tab for you for your group.
And I take
They
the
know
fruit
you're
platter.
good for it based on past experience.
I'll take the fruit platter.
Okay. You finish your breakfast in the morning. Is yours. What do you do?
Run to the council as fast as possible before anyone can, like, any of the council members can get there. I'm just kind of, so, Antoinette, just
You
like...
get there like,
It's quite a ways from.
Well, I said I was going to wake up
So,
early.
Antoinette.
You're gonna wake up early. So you woke up early. You ended up having breakfast on your own, unless anyone else is planning on waking up early.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
You have breakfast on your own. You make your way. You are at the council chambers building.
Mhm.
by like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But you were up early. You were up at like 5:30.
I'm dedicated.
Got yourself ready, had a quick breakfast, and then made your way up
Decided
there.
to walk instead of take the horse for whatever fucking reason.
But you got up
Anime
there,
girl
and it's
toasted
like
mouth.
it's like 7. It's like 7:30 in the morning.
All right.
Gets hit by truck coon.
The rest of you are waking up at about that time, and then
Cash and
John's
dust?
sitting down.
I wipe my ass and I slap mutton.
Jesus Christ, Leon.
You know what? Just roll a D100. Just roll.
Do it twice.
No, just once. All right.
86. Hey, that's like only 3 away.
I will do
All
it.
right. That's a new
Only
thing.
3
That's a new
away
thing.
from
It's just
death.
it's only 3 away every time.
Tomer bad at math.
Yes. All right.
This might be
Anyway,
good.
I guess we'll head to the guild.
An
okay.
alchemist, not a
So
madman.
you guys are eating breakfast. Then about half an hour later, you start to see some of the council members arriving. Most of them via rickshaw. A couple of them walking. About halfway through the different arrivals, you do see Councilman Antoinette.
All right, so I try to get her attention with sort of a bit of a smirk.
Do you one of them cat calls?
He looks like a right smug bastard.
Just, hey, girl.
What do you do
What
to
is
get her
it?
attention?
Kind of
What's
give a
cooking?
wave, and if she doesn't really turn and walk
doesn't.
towards me, I just
She
kind of
doesn't.
walk backwards, trying to get in her path.
Okay.
Run
You-
forward and wave again to get ahead.
You do. Damn you, Hannah.
Hey, yo, ma.
What'd she say?
Mothman, not Math Man.
The gay
You-
icon moth.
You do eventually get in her path and get her attention, and she kind of gives the eye roll a little bit as she's attempting to walk in. She tries. I mean, she's not like juking you, but she tries to kind of just adjust around you to walk around and get up the stairs into the building. But you're just kind of very persistent and like right in her face.
Yeah,
And so she eventually stops and she says, "Yes,
I can imagine you're very happy to see me right now.
ecstatic."
Just
But
a banana. or popcorn.
might I say, although I do not enjoy council interactions, I think that is more a personal bias and shouldn't reflect upon the usefulness I can be to you. I'd rather not arrange a meeting, because I did most of the talking then. I want you to tell me more about the council. Some light talk, nothing professional, off the job, if you will. I want to know more of your plights. I think it was wrong of me to impose upon what I thought was the issue without first knowing what you think the issues are and what you've been dealing with. That is all.
What are you getting at?
I think, again, as I stated before, I think the connection between where the power in the city is and, well, where the other power in the city is not strong enough. Like I said, I think you have sellswords doing your fighting, and you have councilmen not communicating with them.
Look, I already told you. I'm doing what I can. I have heard your request. I have dispatched troops to look into it. Troops that are needed elsewhere. But on your request, I have done so. What further do you need of me?
I just want to hear the issues. Your side.
Then... I do not get what it is you truly want.
Alright.
Say it, boy.
I'm going to try and say this as straightforward as possible, because I feel as though I haven't conveyed my meaning quite so
No,
well.
you haven't.
I broke it to your
I am
house.
mind focusing. Alright. I broke
Back
into
to
your house.
focus again.
I read your diary.
I intend to help this city as much as possible. I know that is your job as well. I think that a valuable partnership can be formed if you just place a little trust in me. Now, I know that you'd rather not do that, especially as of our last meeting, but I hope that at least my persistency goes to show that I'm serious about this. And perhaps this is... Persistency isn't a word, is it? Whatever.
No.
doesn't matter.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Where was I?
Minor grammatical error.
To show that my persistence shows that I'm serious about this, and that I'm not giving up on this city so easily. So, whether for lack of evidence or whatever, I'm here to help. I want to be useful, and I want you to give me a chance. If you're not going to give me a chance, first thing you could do is...
A chance at what? What? You still speak in riddles. What is it you want? Exactly.
There has to
Speak,
be...
speak plainly.
Is there anything troubling you? There are clearly the parts
Of
the
course
city.
there is things troubling me. I have concerns throughout the city that I must address. I have a family that I must take care of.
And what can the everyday man do to help?
Not cause trouble.
I don't feel like I have. I just think you don't agree with my methods. I'm gonna be real.
Am I the
could,
villain?
I wish I could actually have an interaction with that. You guys let me.
It just
We're not laughing
you
at you. The
committed
situation's just fucking great.
severe crimes. You're like, you could trust me.
You're
You
doubting
have
my
this
methods.
lady-
Okay, Sherlock.
I am
Just
Holmes.
asking you to
blackmailing
say
you.
something
Love
straight.
me.
This isn't blackmail. I'm not holding anything
Is
against
it
her.
yet?
I broke and entered and also read your diary. You need to trust me.
We are friends now.
No,
Go on.
I
We don't
believe
know
in
any
you.
of that as
No,
character.
I don't even
wait.
remember what the last line I said was.
she said, basically, speak plainly.
I know what I said.
Whatever
You
want
said,
to
what
say,
can
bro.
the
Yeah,
average...
help us out.
Yeah,
What can an average man do?
And she said, and then she said, "Don't make trouble." And you were like, "I don't
Okay,
believe I
don't-
have."
We
I don't
giggled.
believe I have. Yeah, and you giggled, and I was like, you may not agree with my methods, alright? But I believe, besides being a certain nuisance, I haven't broken any laws. That you know of.
And I was like,
There you go.
flashback to 20 minutes ago.
I mean, do we need to go back?
Again, I don't know what it is you expect of me.
I expect you to die.
Well, I was hoping to be able to just openly communicate about things, but you seem averse to that. And the least you could do is point me in the direction of the nearest soup kitchen. Please.
I am so
You
confused.
confuse me greatly.
Same.
I'm not in it for my own hunger. I have a deposit to make.
At the soup store.
Very well, if you are attempting to help, then I thank you for being a concerned citizen who is making an effort. The nearest soup kitchen would be, and she gives you an address in Eastgate. It is the closest one to the border of Northgate. And she says, "Look, I am sorry that whatever it is you are attempting to ask of me, that I do not understand it. But you speak in such convoluted riddles. If you have a true request, even though you have been kicked from the council chambers and have walked up to me on my way to work, attempting to delay me with whatever your request may be, I am listening."
I just want you to teach me. To inform
Teach
me.
you what?
Information, anything. What the council is doing. I feel that much should be public knowledge if they ask. Why not we just, when you're free someday, sit down at a diner, my treat, and we just talk.
Give me a persuasion check.
Thank you. Finally, please.
And then he whips his cock out.
Hey, what's this going on? 17.
38.
And I'm like, I was up below.
Fine. I will take lunch this afternoon over at the Greedy Hound. I will meet you there, and we can discuss what it is the council is currently doing and how you can help. Does that sound fair to you?
So she starts to see Leon, for probably the first time that he's ever actually talked to her, give this genuine, serious, sincere, just warm, happy face, and he says, "Thank you. You don't understand how much this means."
Now, may I please continue on to my work?
I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for the directions and your time.
You're welcome. And she makes her way back up the stairs and into the council chambers.
Well, I think she's starting to take a liking to me, I kind of say to myself.
Roll for delusion.
Wow.
Right. What's everyone else doing? You have just finished breakfast by this time.
Get into
On
the
a
guild.
less important note, I did text you a couple of questions.
Yes, my phone is...
Does he like it in
Kinda
the
No,
bad.
you're,
bed?
and that's
Do
why I
I
said
take
less
it in the-
important, just at some point, side notes.
Yeah, does Jonathan like collars?
Does he like to take it in the butt?
What's the length, the girth, you know?
Can I use my horns?
Enough durability, time for the taste test.
But our plan, if I remember correctly, was to go pick up a quest.
Yes, at the guild.
We're off to
See,
the guild.
the wizard.
Off to the guild. It's gonna get us killed.
Certainly.
I don't
Oh,
like
I
that
can't
rhyme.
wait, because it sounds like a thrill.
Hey, there we go.
Because I didn't agree to this rhyme.
Don't worry, Jonathan will make one up
So
for you.
off we trot.
The only rhyme I thought afterwards was Bill. That made me think, I'm only a bit.
Your question has been
Never heard
answered.
that song in a while.
Questions have
I
been
heard
Fucking Schoolhouse Rock, baby.
the moment you said Bill, I was like, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
answered. Okay. So, you're heading over to the Freelancers Association to pick up that quest? Okay. Would you have informed Leon of your plans prior to...
I'll leave
going
a
away?
We
note.
talked about this
We
last
talked
night.
it last
Okay.
night.
I will leave a note with Jonathan for
Okay.
Leon, though.
Alright, just in case.
I will
Warn
leave
dog.
a note with
Alright.
Jonathan
You
for Leon.
You guys have just finished your
Oh,
breakfast
for
and
Leon.
are heading towards Freelancers Association. You have just finished your little conversation.
Mhm.
Do you head that way as well?
I start heading towards the soup kitchen,
Okay.
and I go ahead and cast Sending at Gold, and I simply say, change of plans, I probably won't take too long, but I've got a lunch date.
Good for you.
I'm allowed to respond, right?
Yeah.
Yes, up to
20
25 words.
With a D?
That was it.
Alright, I
You
have
have
to
to
cast
recast.
Sending again. You're giving me a headache. Use the spell more carefully. No.
I love it. I love it.
Aren't you all a thing?
Oh my god, I love it.
Got him, coach.
Yeah, I'm just not responding.
Damn, got left on red.
Man, poor D.
Correct.
I'm telling.
Fuck.
Tomer.
Yep.
I think Leon's cheating on D.
Listen,
Can
I'm not
anything
the
go
one that's
right
gonna-
for me?
I don't have to deal with it, but I'm not saving his butt if he gets killed.
It's just
I
because he
just
got
really hope
laid.
D doesn't ask me any questions.
No,
'Cause,
no, no,
like,
no,
I'm
no,
real
no,
quick.
no, boys. Just
Have I
because
met
he
her?
got laid once, it doesn't mean that they're a thing.
Wait,
I can't believe
wait.
that Persephone is defending.
Hold on.
So are you saying that
True.
you and your little young stock boy ain't a thing either?
Just because you get
A
laid
young
once
stallion.
doesn't mean you're a thing.
Since when did
Or 10 times
Leon
in your
get
case.
laid?
You got laid the day. Remember we
Y'all
played
know
that
he
trick
didn't
on him?
come back, right?
Remember we played that trick on him? We
I
sent
don't
him
know what the fuck he's doing.
gold.
Yeah.
Remember the day that we
Intercourse.
remember the day we played a trick on him with D there, and he was flirting, and we left. He didn't come back home.
I
No.
thought he was just being friendly.
No.
Damn.
I assure you, he did not use his room that night.
She used his room.
That was
Oh.
Good for him.
See, I just heard sounds and
You heard, please, no, don't stop.
I don't know if I heard that specific.
me. I know you did.
All right, so he's not with D then.
Hey, Jonathan, are you and her a thing, or
Just
Awkward.
I gotta go. I gotta go clean the bathroom. And he kind of turns and goes.
What a weird interaction.
Before I leave, fuck,
Go to
do
the bathroom as
do
well?
No. Do I have this spell? I do. I mage hand a piece of chocolate over to his bed.
Oh god.
I didn't take Jonathan as the bashful.
I thought he would be more take charge after the training, but apparently not.
I mean, out of character, he definitely did.
In character, oh, he did.
Ew.
All right, on that note, I'm
Stop
gonna
it. You're
walk
gross.
a few paces ahead of
Okay.
I don't know,
Yeah,
you
I'm
didn't
gonna-
complain.
You guys eventually.
Quicken my pace
Okay.
as well.
You guys do eventually make it to the Freelancers Association. Leon, you got a little bit of a trek to get over to.
I'm at Sue.
Why are you at Sue?
So, you get to the Freelancers Association. There you are. It's up to you guys. What do you do?
So, what's the quest you were looking at?
Insert quest board here.
So
I pointed out.
Yes.
we're gonna go on a trophy hunt.
Okay.
Hunt down an aberration.
How much are we getting paid?
Don't know, and I quite frankly didn't care. We're kind of loaded.
I
You
beg
just said
to
we needed
differ.
money.
I beg to differ.
we
I
gotta
have
keep
shiny
money
things I'd like to
coming.
purchase.
Fair enough.
Not that we need.
This is
money.
all. I've never had this much at
Well,
once
if you
before.
don't need money, I'd be more than happy to take it off your hands.
We know what yours is going to be
Why don't you
wasted
go ahead
on.
and pay your debt, sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
She wastes her money on lube and chocolate.
Oh my god.
Not necessarily in that order.
I
Not
have a
entirely.
feeling
Hold
that
on,
she
what do you
doesn't
waste
pay
your
for
money on?
much.
Soap and wood?
He gave
No, I
you
didn't
some
buy
of that
wood.
soap, didn't he?
Oh.
I gave you some of that
He
soap.
gave you some
It
of
was
that
a sign
soap?
of friendship, you
He-
asshole.
Oh, he
bought-
dropped the soap
He
already.
bought
Oh, no.
me chocolate though.
This group is weird.
All joking aside, I do appreciate the soap. The lavender one was amazing.
I told you we got to go back.
Y'all have a very interesting friendship.
You'll get used to it.
You want a piece of chocolate?
Yes.
Be careful, there's laxatives in
Aiden.
it.
We're gonna go monster hunting after all.
So you're accepting the quest for Lord Falcon's hunting trip.
Yes.
Yep.
Very well. Please sign the papers, please. He spins them around to you. Okay. Takes them, gives you your copy. Said you can find him at his estate.
In Eknot.
No. In Northgate.
Eggnog.
He is technically not a noble, yet he does hold the title of lord.
Interesting.
It is a formality more than anything, due to his, I guess his upbringing. He comes from another place.
I'm confused, but alright.
So do I, but I don't carry the title of lord.
It's different.
I'm sure. it is.
Anyway, you can find him at his estate. The address is written there. I recommend. Well, if past hunts have been any indication, several changes of clothes.
Do we
Duly
own
noted.
more than one pair of clothing, guys? Just
I
out of
do.
curiosity.
You don't?
I do. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I've got a few sets of armor and some civilian clothing. And
I
dress
doubt
uniform.
Persephone even showers. Oh.
That's not gonna
You know
clean
what?
it.
Fair enough.
That's not gonna clean everything.
No,
Actually,
but
that's
it
a lot
is.
better than the.
But it is.
It's even more specific.
Is that a cantrip?
It's like,
What the fuck?
pew, pew.
Well, looks like we won't be needing to stop at the soap store now. Maybe on the way back.
Yeah, it's like a reward.
Soap
Listen,
is a
you have to find
I'm at soap.
simple things in life that make you happy.
Oh.
Alright, well. Unless we have any more business here, I say let's go ahead and head over to Lord Falcone.
Falcone idiot. Don't you need to buy
Pat's
more
not
arrows?
traveling with like anything on him, so
Well,
he
I can
pretty much just
get
has
this anywhere
his
on the
coat.
way out.
And
Okay.
It's not that big a deal.
Just checking.
Worst comes worst, I'll use my sword. It's been a while.
He's pretty used to hoofing it, you know, just off the land.
Okay. All right, so you guys making your way over to Lord Falcone's estate?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Punch!
Yes. You're at the soup kitchen.
Alright, so
Oh, you
I
went.
walk up to the person who's like at the forefront or whatever, who looks in charge. Yeah.
Okay.
And I say,
Soup.
who's in charge
Who
of soup?
runs
Tell me!
soup?
No, hello, I'd like to make a donation, if possible.
Yes, and you see a fairly tall green dragonborn
Splat.
that says,
You're welcome.
"Oh yes. What are you donating?"
Well, funds, hopefully, for
Oh.
you to...
Oh.
Not soup.
By-
We were
By all
mistaken.
means, please, to the back office.
How much are you accepting?
We would accept whatever anyone's willing to donate.
Okay.
This isn't a money
All
kitchen, it's a
600
soup kitchen. We can't do anything with this.
We need more soup.
And so I take out a pouch of 200 gold pieces.
Oh,
Oh,
goodness. And she seems flabbergasted at this generosity.
You rename
And
the
the
soup
fact that
kitchen
it's
She
after
does
him.
not know what to do. It's literally a good 30 seconds to a minute before she can speak coherently because she is just so flustered. But she finally says, "Okay,
Perhaps if this is too much, you can spread it across the other soup kitchens. I would
yes,
do it
yes,
myself,
yes,
but
yes.
I don't have the time to walk across.
Actually, Delilah. Yes, please. Delilah. And a human woman approaches. I need you to fetch 4 others. We need to dispatch to... and she starts listing off different locations. Go and each one, and she starts dividing it up. Take this, go and purchase blah, 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 blah. She starts giving like a grocery list of things. And take them to so-and-so. If you need to hire a cart, there's enough in there to do so. You know, get it done.
Mhm.
And then she stands up. She looks at you, and there are some tears coming down her eyes. She says, "You don't know how much this means to the people." And she grabs you and hugs you.
Cheating on D again.
And
My God,
she is,
lady killer.
She is a good foot taller than you.
Yeah.
And so your face is right in her chest.
Oh, little
And-
guy.
Dragon titties.
Yeah, and she's squeezing you, and she is actually crying with your generosity. And eventually she lets you go, and she says, "Thank you so much. What is your name?"
You see this moment of contemplation on Leon's face. And finally he says, Thancred. You can call me Thancred.
"Oh, thank you."
He was gonna say Ajax, wasn't he? For like a
Ajax.
second.
Think
What is
nothing of it,
Ajax
really. I
would
just...
talk?
And for a moment, it seems like Leon is starting to stammer and stutter a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And then He kind of regains his composure and says, I just want to help.
You have. Immensely.
It may not be for a little while, but I'll be back.
I will do everything in my power for the Count to know your name.
Oh, you fucked up.
I mean, that might actually help.
Okay.
But that was not my intention at all. That's just a bonus. Nice.
Now you four. You
Yes,
arrive
Captain.
at Lord Falcon's manor.
Gear shift.
It is not so much a manor. It would be what you would call like a typical row house.
Well, these are my people.
Row house.
I was thinking around.
Not roadhouse. Row house. So it's very nice, very fancy, but you know, it's like, you know, a brownstone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looks very nice, very beautiful, very well made, but you know, it is not its own land and its own space. There are properties on either, right, you know, built right up part of it. But it is a nice property. You go and approach the door, I assume.
Yes, I walked right up.
Okay, and upon a knock on the door, a little bit later, the door swings open, and you see
Looking up.
you looking up.
Yeah.
You look over the head of a very grizzled-looking, long-bearded, with gray streaks going through it dwarf.
Oh, he's short, and I'm not looking up.
Exactly.
Says that out
You're
loud.
up here looking like, oh.
Yeah.
And he says,
Yeah, just like.
"Who are you, and what are you doing here?"
We're here for the Freelancers Association to help Lord Falcone hunt.
The thrill of the hunt.
Ah, excellent. Come in, come in, come in.
I go in.
Okay. You follow behind this gentleman as he walks down the hallway and then turns into what is clearly a sitting room and has a seat in a nice big stuffed chair near the fire, grabs a pipe that is sitting still smoldering on a little end table next to him, takes a puff and goes, "So, you're the ones that are going to be joining me, eh?"
Yes, Lord Falcone.
You ready for something interesting, huh?
What is it we're hunting exactly?
Be you ever heard of an eye drake? No.
Have I?
No.
No.
I probably have never heard of an eye drake.
I highly doubt any of you have heard of an eye drake.
No,
You
However,
with nature.
no, not nature. This is an aberration. I will give anyone with proficiency in Arcana a
Nope.
chance
Nope.
to
Nope.
know it.
I
Not
think
me
that's
again.
our boy who's not here.
I haven't rolled a single time this evening.
Nope.
Yeah.
I just got advantage, not proficiency.
Yeah, I mean that's like the
I'm a
only thing that
magic
might-
user who knows nothing of Arcana.
Well, you're a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So you don't study, you just innately.
I just do.
Well,
Yeah, you're
I
just
don't know
good.
exactly
I
what
just
that is,
do.
but has it been
Well, I
causing
wish
some
my
kind of
daddy
trouble
paid
around?
for me to be a sorcerer.
Well,
Ah.
sorry.
No,
Would you
here.
give me another one of these?
Not here?
No, in me homeland.
This is gonna be a real far out quest, isn't it?
Where are we?
What
He's
do you
like,
mean by
it's-
Oh,
far?
that was out of character.
In the
Far out,
backyard.
bro.
Where are we going?
We're going to Eotris to
That
join,
makes
to see the land of me people.
Oh, Matho?
We're going to another continent.
We must go to Danfall.
Am I? Oh, Yotris.
Yeah,
That's where I'm from.
It's like you put
me
It's a bit
cousin.
of a walk.
He says that
We're going to Yotris.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
apparently
walk.
there have been some eye drakes nearby. Been making a bit of trouble. I've yet to have one on my wall, and he points up above the fireplace, and you now notice there are like 17 different heads of things mounted up on this expansive wall. You see a small dragon head, like maybe from a juvenile. So decent size, but not super, super big.
What's the color?
Green.
Ooh. Ooh.
You see several other creatures in there. Every single one of them, from the ones that you know, are not things that you want to mess with. Nor are things that, well, that you would call just beasts. For example, one thing that, you know what, I'll give anyone a nature check. Actually, let me see.
No.
Let me see what this is. Let me double check.
Did you, as the druid, say no to nature?
No, I said, because I got to roll something. He goes, wait,
Oh.
no. I'm like,
Oh,
Hold on.
I thought
I
you
just
said
need to
nope, don't
verify.
have it. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry,
turns out
what?
These things are
Yeah,
really
you know what? I will give this a nature or history check.
I'm going to fail my only roll.
Nope.
8.
24.
I will say that you have heard of these. They are an Arctic creature. This is a very large head.
Yeah, I never would have
It
seen
is something called a remoraz. And I mean, this head is like this big around, mounted. It looks like some kind of giant, buggish, worm-like head.
Alaska's
This guy killed a
worm.
fucking robot.
Yeah, kind of. That is typically from frozen tundra, is their general habitat.
Hey, since you're describing this, am I cool to pull up a picture and show the camera?
No, they can look it up themselves.
Okay.
I feel like
The
Pat,
viewer.
the moment you're describing the room,
Is...
I feel like Patch had that scene from Ace Ventura when he walks into the room and all the creatures are mounted
Oh,
on the
yeah.
wall, and he's just like,
No, but I mean,
lovely
there's
It's not like
tons
a
of
bunch
things.
deer
Take care
or
now.
anything.
No,
No.
it's not deer
I
head.
was
These
gonna
are
say, he
these
was-
are monstrosities, aberrations, or horrific evil
Is there anything...
beasts.
Yeah, I was going to say he
Demonic
looked uncomfortable, but
ish.
that's
Nothing you would call demonic, but there's definitely things that are evil.
evil, 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 evil.
just one random, like, elf head in the middle.
This one is a bit of a particular wanker.
He was
That
kind of
was-
a douche.
That was Bill.
He was a fucking
Bill was an
cunt.
asshole.
Serious question: are there any orcs' heads on the wall? Don't you fucking do this to me.
That's the next room. It's just lines.
Nope.
hundreds.
Okay,
It's your fucking on.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck that family.
Okay, so
Everyone's nice on team.
he says, they've been causing a bit of trouble over in their downfall. It's a little bit of a trip.
Yeah, I've noticed. It's in Yochers, it's gotta be. How long are we
Kept
talking
around
being
from
out?
him.
About a month.
Travel expenses paid?
There and back. A month. Let me double check. Make sure.
This motherfucker better be with us when we leave, because holy, that's a fucking month.
I'm sure.
Travel
Fucking
expenses.
leave that one.
I left
So
a
this is how
note.
Jonathan felt.
Leon's left home
Where'd they
alone.
Hello?
And is anybody home?
It turns into fucking Home Alone.
Actually,
The honey pot.
depending on, I mean, if you're using
The wagon and horses.
If you're using the wagon and
I'm not
horses,
fucking walking
you can make
that.
it there and back in a month, but it is gonna be you're gonna be pushing the pace.
Quite frankly, we're on a timetable for your thing, so are you good with going?
If we
Or
take
do
a
you want to
month,
stay back?
if we take a month, it's gonna. By the time we get back, we're gonna have to go to do that mission right away.
You can stay back if you want.
Oh, I want to try out this hammer on something.
Personal goals aside, I want to beat the fuck out of an Idrix's Tomer.
Travel expenses paid?
If the hunt be successful,
Hmm.
I'd be willing to pay 2,000 gold per eye drake.
What? We're going fucking hunting. I'm gonna look at gold and be like,
Can you
fucking gold.
I'd be like, ooh.
can you tell us anything about them?
It's okay, Patch. It's okay.
I've
It's
never
okay.
even seen that much money.
Listen, just breathe, buddy. Just breathe.
A wee bit, I
I
suppose.
don't know if the whole village had that much money.
You can be rich.
What I know of such creatures. Have you ever heard of the beasts calling themselves beholders?
Oh, fuck.
I'm sure we have.
No.
No.
History check from everyone, regardless of proficiency or not.
Oh, fuck a duck.
That's a solid 4.
Okay. You haven't heard shit.
7.
Anyone who got a 10 or higher
Yay.
has heard the name. If you got a 15 or higher, you actually know what they are.
17.
Like,
16
really know?
plus 1.
Okay. He says, and he sees some recognition in some of your faces. He says, imagine a baby beholder had sex with a baby dragon,
A baby's having sex? Gross.
and they had a baby.
Shut up, you're not there.
Are they?
This would be the baby.
I mean, Gold. All aside, this might be the training that we need.
I'm sure it'll be, because I'm sure we'll have to do shit on the road.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gold, what's a beholder?
So it's a big-eyed creature.
I think a floating eyeball that can kill you by it looking at you.
That sounds horrific.
Not only that, they're super fucking smart from what I hear.
I feel like this knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone. We get paid, we get some training.
I mean, as long as you're okay with potentially jeopardizing our ambush on your old gang,
In my life.
because
but,
it's
you
a
know.
possibility, man. I don't want
Let's
you
just
to go.
let's just do this quickly. The faster we say yes, the faster we can leave, and the faster we can get shit done.
All right.
I want to make a stop before we head out.
No, you're not gonna say bye to Jonathan.
No, I'm gonna go to the fucking library and research some of this shit.
That's
Okay.
probably a good idea.
No
That wouldn't
shit,
be a
I'm
bad
good
idea
at
at all.
ideas.
I can go run, grab the wagon and the horses while you all do some research and shopping.
I don't got nothing to shop for.
You act like I didn't take a horse here.
You're gonna just kill the horses at this point.
No, I'm making sure they get their exercise.
You want me to-
Tomer, if I give
Fair.
you 5 gold, can you buy me some arrows?
Yeah, do you want me to grab Leon as well?
That'd probably be a good idea while I'm grabbing the horse and wagon.
Alright.
Can we just depart tomorrow?
Can we get much higher?
While we're trying
Sounds
to
good to
go.
me.
So,
You
I-
good with leaving today
I
or
figured
tomorrow?
a day to prepare was
Either
solid.
way, as long as we get going.
the One Piece
We're
is
gonna get right on it.
Fair enough.
As soon as we suit up for the road, we'll meet you back here.
So today or tomorrow?
Today.
I wanna do today.
What time is it currently?
Did I remember if Leon has any other plans other than
It's
his
like-
lunch date?
9.
Okay, so it's morning time.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
All he told me was the lunch date. Actually, I don't think he told me that specifically.
I
I
did.
think he did.
Yeah, he
I
did.
literally messaged you about
Oh,
it.
you messaged me about it. Then I asked if you were cheating on D.
Yep.
Yeah, we should be able to leave today.
Alright. What? 2? 3?
3 hours should be fine.
3 sounds fine.
How long
3 o'clock.
Oh, okay, I was like, how long did it take it back to some of the places in here? 'Cause
I'll-
I got a big trip to
I'll
Black
meet you
River and some-
Out the east gate of the city. 3 o'clock.
Alright,
Don't be late.
Meet us out at East Gate at 3. Got it?
Alright.
Don't be late.
As you guys have now finalized your plans, that is where we're going to end tonight. Everybody gets a point of inspiration for tonight. And welcome to level 7.
You
Alright. I think I killed
What was that
killed
for?
Oscar.
Oh shit!
That was
I did not see
All
that
right.
coming.
reaction.
So thank you everybody for watching. We hope you had a good time. Hope my players had a good time.
Oh hell yeah!
And we hope to see you. And a little bit of a teaser. We think the next game, episode 20, will be Sunday, the 25th. And we'll keep you posted, but we may start as early as 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and go till like 3 or 4. It might be a long game, but we'll keep you informed. But we will be playing Sunday, September 25th. So look at our socials. Check out our Twitter at TOGG Roleplay, or our Instagram also at TOGG Roleplay, for information and for updates on that. And we hope to see you guys there, Sunday, September 25th. Also, this coming Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Did we confirm that?
I think so. Magnus Avum, Episode 3. I'm pretty sure we did.
Probably. Don't hold us to it.
But probably.
99%.
99, yeah. But thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.